Hello everyone! How's it going? Hope you're doing well. It's that time again. It is time, alas, to play that game, what I play. Hey there, Aria DFN. Hey there, P. Jubium. Okay, so... Alright, and what we decided last time was that we wanted to have the desktop goose up there to make things a little bit easier, didn't we? Yes, I've got my drink ready, by the way. This time it's a cider, which I will need, but I'll start pouring that out once we actually open up the game. And in the meantime, I'll open up the old desktop goose, wherever that is. Oh god, it's started. Woo-wee. Okay, bear with me. Games, desktop goose. I mean, desktop goose isn't really a game, but it's fine. Alright. Let's get this over with. Oh, you can see like that at the bottom? That's annoying. Well, anyway, now you all know I have Photoshop at least. So, sorry about like this setup, but like it needs to happen in order for us to have the old desktop goose. Give the goose something to play with. This is where we were last time. Yeah, this is still going, I'm afraid. So the thing is, right, hold on, there you go. So, oh, it's so cute. Anyway, does it go back now? There we go, back to normal. Okay, so what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I looked up reviews of AIdol the other day. Hey there, Alana Duh. Hope you're doing well. We're gonna have ourselves to blame. I know, right? I might be able to crop it out, actually. That's a very good point. Ah! Sorry. Let's deal with this. Okay, display capture, and now let's crop out the annoying thing at the bottom and the annoying thing at the top. And then make this a little bit bigger, I guess. Yeah. Make this a little bit bigger here. There we go. Perfect. Excellent. The perfect crime. Although I think now the goose's message is kind of cropped off, isn't it? Okay, that's no good. Well, I guess we'll just have to play it like this, because, you know, we want to... no, it's fine, it's fine. We know. I do actually like having the goose's message visible there. We'll just make do, right? I keep missing the AIdol streams. How have things actually started happening in the plot? We reached 2 endings. Yeah, I think things have started happening in the plot. And what I was trying to say before I got all distracted was that I had gotten to a point where I looked at the reviews last night because I was like, is this good? Like, you know, is there an audience for this? Are there people who enjoyed it? And it seems like it's a very popular game, actually, among people who like visual novels. And the author as well is apparently a very good one. Although one negative review was like, I really like this person's normal, like regular games, but this one seems like a step down. And I also may have accidentally come across a spoiler, but fingers crossed that wasn't true. Anyway, let's get back to the plot. And I'll pour out my drink, actually. Get it ready. Nice cider. I saw your concert. It looked like you had a nasty fall, and then you couldn't get yourself back up again. The concert was cancelled, but you probably know that. Why would you write that? I wanted to make sure you were all right. I wait. And I wait. And I wait. Aiko's response isn't as quick as usual, and I find myself panicking when... Thank you for your concern. I appreciate it. My files are degenerating at a rapid pace. Though the tech team were able to perform some quick fixes after the concert, it is not enough for a full recovery. They were worried about my well-being and deemed it dangerous to continue the concert in my unstable state. In case you missed out, like, just to catch you up on the plot, they went to a concert, and then, what's her name, Aiko fell down in the middle of the concert, and there was some backup files on a tablet, which is now in Hana's possession. So Hana is going to, I guess, look through the tablet to try and find out who the lead programmer is, how to find them. Were you able to find any clues about my original programmer? If you were, I would be very grateful. Ahaha! I smiled to myself. Aiko's messages are formal as always, and a little too— Oi! Little too— Stop it! And a little too long. Little shit. Somebody needs to teach this girl how to condense her thoughts and feelings. It's ridiculous that a virtual idol, one of the most modern creations known to mankind, should speak in a manner so reminiscent of an old lady. The two images are diametrically opposed, but she just said, like, in last stream, she was talking about how that was part of her charm. And now she's like, it's ridiculous! Oh, there we go. But Aiko wouldn't be Aiko without her awkward typing habits. I managed to take a tablet from a Lyric employee at the event. I think it has all your files stored on there, including some information about your programmer. Really? You were able to do that for me? Thank you so much! Well, don't get too excited. I'm still not sure. I haven't checked it. Why didn't you check when you first got it? Then check right now. We seem to have missed a scene where she ran off with the tablet and left all her friends behind. Because her friends don't dance. If you have the time, I mean, it would be most appreciated. Oh wow, that was very brusque. Again, thank you for your continued cooperation. I smile to myself and shake my head. Aiko, you are so transparent, but her enthusiasm is catching. I feel more fired up about this mission than ever before. We can do it. If Aiko and I join forces, we'll be unstoppable. What do you want me to do with the tablet? Should I plug it into my laptop? Your phone. I can access the files remotely through the use of Paku Paku. Wait, you can do that? How easy is it for virtual idols to hack into other pieces of tech? It is relatively simple for me. If you plug the tablet in, I should be able to see all the files you can. Ah, right, I don't really get it, but whatever. Does that mean you can see my web history too? And all my chat logs? And all my contacts? I can, but I wouldn't invade your privacy like that. I respect you too much. We are friends, are we not? You're my best friend! Whatever, let's get started. It goes without saying. Oh, God. Of course we're friends, that goes without saying. We've certainly been through trials and tribulations together. Yeah, I just hope this is the last of them. I open my bag and search for the tablet. I realize belatedly that I don't have a cable for the tablet, but it should be fine. I've amassed quite a fine Oh no, we have to go through this whole search now? I've amassed quite a fine collection of wires and cords over the years, all wrapped up in my drawer, and one of them probably fits. We can skip this bit, honestly. We don't need this. I experiment with reams upon reams of cables until I finally find one that works. With the tablet and phone connected, I turn the tablet on and glance back at Paku Paku. I connected the tablet and turned it on. Can you access everything? This is wonderful. Thank you, Miss Hana. I have complete control over these files. Come to think of it, although I am a virtual idol, I have never witnessed the code that creates me before. I just noticed acidic flower. This is my immortal. Oh, true that. The tech team are always very careful to ensure I do not know more than I need to. This is quite an experience. I flick through the tablet idly. I don't understand most of the files I can access, and several of them are locked behind passwords. Can you even access the files that require security codes? I can access all these files with ease. Just because I speak like an old woman, it does not mean I am technologically stunted. I probably have more knowledge than you do, Miss Hana. Ooh, are you actually trying to show off? I am more than a pretty face. Well, I can see that. There are 1 or 2 files in here that have been corrupted in my primary storage system. Stay away! Requesting a file transfer should fix 1 or 2 issues, though I doubt it will be that easy. Will it take a while? These files are quite large. A transfer will probably take a couple of hours. Please, for my own safety, do not disconnect the tablet during this time, and do not let it shut down either. It could have a negative impact on my well-being. Wasn't planning on it. I've heard the warnings enough times. And, Miss Hannah, would you mind staying awake until all the files have transferred? I might need you to help me if I should encounter any problems. Sure thing! Maybe I should brew myself some coffee so I stay awake. Thank you, Miss Hannah. It would be most appreciated. Huh. Aiko would appreciate my company, would she? Now that's strange. This whole time I thought I was the one who needed— What? She literally came to you asking for help! But right now she's the one who needs me. Oh, jeez. A few hours pass. The sky outside my window darkens, ushering in the twinkling stars and the full moon. I lie on my bed, laptop balanced on my tummy and earbuds tucked securely into my ears. The time drifts by hazily! I alternate my attention between Puckle, trying to keep Aiko company, and searching through the net. Like usual, I end up on the AIdol boards. Everybody's gossiping about Aiko's malfunction during the AIdol Fest. It's everywhere. Oh no! Oh no, we're gonna have to read another forum thread. I don't want to... Oh! I don't want to read their cruel words, but curiosity compels me onwards. I can't help myself. Here we go. Did Aiko really malfunction? They said it was a power outage, but I have a few doubts. Of course the PR team would lie to cover it up. Everybody knows what happened to Yukari. Oh, P-Dubium! Stop the press, everyone! P-Dubium gets my respect for 24 hours. Well done, P-Dubium. I respect you for 24 hours. Well, I guess we can kiss Aiko's career goodbye. Oh no, I really liked Aiko. She was my cute waifu. I go online for a hot minute and find out Aiko malfunctioned. My poor angel. Why did this have to happen to Aiko? She's too precious. I don't mind killing off my own characters, but when it happens to other people's... Oh my god, don't talk about waifus. I thought robot waifus were the best because they can't die. Let's hold a candlelight vigil in her honor. Rest in peace, you shall be missed. Can you stop acting like she's dead already? Her career's definitely over, even if she isn't. Maybe she'll recover? Why do you even care? The best girl is clearly Vespa, lol. Aiko might have been the best waifu, but she's obviously getting old now. We need fresh blood. I prefer older women myself. They have more fire to them, says MILFLover69. I see you posting everywhere with that lewd anime avatar. Can't you GTFO? Kids use this site. Never thought I'd say this, but I have to agree with Hell Girl. Oh, come off it. I know you all love me, really. You're impossible. Yeah, slap on the wrist there. No, what happened to Aiko is the really impossible thing here. This thread of all threads shouldn't be derailed. It's too important. How can I study for my exams after this? Excuse me. Had to burp. Excuse me. Oh no, stay strong, everyone. And what good will that do exactly? I was only trying to help. It isn't going to help though, is it? You're all wasting your time. Bad grammar. Oh, there we go. Thank you. Oh. Oh! Can you all knock it off? Why do these threads always go to hell so quickly, lol? Laughs in 666 Hellgirl 666. What? I'm so done with this forum. Let's just keep hoping for the best, everyone. I believe in Aiko. You're all delusional. Time to join Team Vespa. BRB. Vespa is so basic, though. You're an Aiko fan and you think Vespa is basic? I don't know why Aiko was ever that popular to begin with. TBH, she's not that good. Sit burn. Oh, thank God, that's over. ... Reading these threads is a huge pain. Yeah! Yeah, it is a huge pain. Thanks for the observation. How can people be so ignorant? They're talking like Aiko's dead already. It's almost like they want her to suffer just so they have something interesting to gossip about. Oh, this is cancel culture. They've been gossiping a good deal already. I've never seen the forums so alive. The topic, Aiko malfunctions at AIdol Fest, was only created 5 hours ago, but it has more than 70 pages of replies. Disgusting. People are disgusting. I won't let them laugh at Aiko. I won't let them trample on her reputation. I won't let them turn her misfortune into a mockery. I'll save her. Oh, just hurry up, I have to. Paku Paku lets out a cheery beep. I have a new message. I managed to transfer the most pertinent files. I'm in a much better physical condition, but there is still a fundamental flaw with my programming. Did you find anything interesting? It appears certain files have been selectively doctored or altered during the last 9 months. Oh, it's like a full pregnancy. Any information that could lead back to my programmer has been wiped. This is probably the cause of my corrupted files. So there weren't any clues? I did find one thing. A single character embedded in a set of highly important files buried very deep down in my framework. Ah, my breath catches in my throat. A single character squirreled away from prying eyes. Was this some kind of safety precaution? Did Aiko's programmer insert this character into one of her key files himself in case Aiko ever needed a way to contact him? How do you know it's a man? Or else could this be the calling card of the person who tampered with Aiko's files in the first place? Either way, this could be it. Hey there, born in Blue Dead Space. Hope you're doing well. The breakthrough we were looking for. What was it, Aiko? Jimmy fell down the well? It says, you. Yuko. Eh? Yuko? Oh, and there's also that Yu Hachiro person. What's his name? Yu Ichiro. Like the cafe owner who had the stupid name. Or was it Hei Hachiro? I can't remember. Monday, the day after the convention. Scandalo! Lyric's darling daughter. Android post-Aiko malfunctions on stage at local event. This is the headline that greets Himura Kazuki as he sits down to breakfast that Monday morning. He sighs, shaking his head. He'll give the over-enthusiastic reporter marks for the alliteration, but why are there so many exclamation marks? They could sound a bit less cheerful about the whole thing. Well, that's just how the saying goes. One man's misfortune is another man's gain. Kazuki knows the meaning of that better than anybody. Oh, honey, how much rice do you want? Oh, having pancakes as a late breakfast. Nice. As much as you can fit into the bowl. I want pancakes. That's what I like to hear. Itsuki hums under her breath as she ladles the rice out of the cooker with the scoop. Are you hungry this morning? Not really, but I'll need some stamina. Today's going to be tough. The headline splashed on the front of the newspaper says as much. Scandalo! The word punctuated with an exclamation point. Exclamation... Oh, I mean, you've mentioned that a few times, actually. Exclamation points are scattered through the article like headlights jumps out at Kazuki. He winces. At least he doesn't work in the PR team. Here you go, honey. As much rice as you could hope for. Itsuki sets a bowl of rice on the table before her husband beside a series of side dishes. Pickled plums and steamed sauri. What's sauri? Sore. I'm guessing it's a kind of fish? It's a fish with a small mouth. A series of small finlets between the dorsal and anal fins. Okay. Well, now we know. It looks delicious. Itsuki's cooking always is. She used to own her own restaurant. That was how Itsuki and Kazuki met. Of course, all the women have to quit their jobs the moment they get married. Itsuki had no desire to be a stay-at-home mother. She was a career-oriented woman through and through who wanted to share her culinary passions with the rest of the world. She was good at her job, too. Her restaurant was popular. And then she had Day. I just think it seems unfair. Itsuki frowns, arms folded. So basically, Day has now got a burden of guilt as to why her mother lost her career or ended her career. Oh my god. Oi! Itsuki frowns, arms folded. She's still holding the scoop in her right hand, and she smells faintly of fluffy white rice. You've been working overtime during the weekend, and you still have to go into the office? You haven't had a single day off. I know, but it's an emergency. Yeah, I saw the headlines. The headlines? What's wrong, Papa? Did something happen? Well, there was a bit of a problem at the AIdol Fest yesterday. During Aiko's concert? Look at that face. That's right, there was a problem with her. Didn't you say you'd run into a few problems with her already? Excuse me. Pardon me. Aiko's been a bit unstable for a while. We thought it could be resolved easily, but... It wasn't? No, she malfunctioned on stage. Excuse me. She took the power out with her too. The stage went black for a good 20 minutes. Oh no! I hope nobody got hurt. The PR team tried to control the damage as best as they could. They did a good job too, considering there were a few staff members short. Oh my god, just stop it. Exposition. Was Hideki there? Yeah, Hideki was there. You met him when you went to the handshake event, didn't you? He's always nice to me. I like him. And I love you, Rei. That's why I want you to eat much, much more so you'll grow up big and strong. She's just covered with the duck now. I'll be fine, Mom. Tut, tut. You're skinny as a starling and there's plenty more rice to go around. Well, if it will make you happy, you're such a good girl, Rei. Itsuki takes Rei's bowl and deposits another scoop of warm, white rice on top of the remnants from Rei's first helping. Wow, she ate that quickly and the whole time she's been here? When Itsuki sets the table, she always makes sure Rei uses the same bowl. It's ceramic with tiny little bluebirds dancing about the edge. The design was inspired by the popular children's story, The Bluebird of Happiness. The design of the bowl doesn't matter that much, given Rei can't say, oh my god, stop belaboring that point! But she's used the same bowl ever since she was 5 years old. Her hands are accustomed to its shape, size, and texture. Replacing her tableware would probably unsettle her, probably because you've raised her on eggshells. Terrible parents. I wish I could have performed at the AIdol Fest. Oh, Rei, we talked about this yesterday. I know. You can be an idol if you want, but there need to be certain precautions in place, planning and preparation. Your father and I wish we could let you perform more, honey, but as it is, my safety comes first, I understand. If you do, make sure to eat up all your breakfast. Yes, Mother? Rei nods and picks her chopsticks up again, but she doesn't have much of an appetite. This whole household isn't hungry. Food must be really bad. Not since she heard about that headline 10 seconds ago. Sorry. Even if you'd been booked to sing at the AIdol Fest Rei, you wouldn't have been able to. Not after what happened to Aiko. What about Yuko? Didn't she get a chance to perform her set? Yuko? The rookie idol? The girl with all the makeup. She was at the handshake event with me. Ah, yes, Kazuki nods. He doesn't know the name of every single rookie idol associated with Lyric, but he does know Yuko. Brown hair, brown eyes, fiery personality. She's always been nice to Rei. Yuko took Rei under her wing, so to speak, though Rei's been in the industry longer and is vastly more popular. No, she didn't get to perform. That's too bad, and she was so looking forward to it too. I'm sure there'll be other concerts, honey. Oh my god. Let this scene end. I know, but Rei chews on her rice thoughtfully. Her eyes are downcast. Her long lashes flutter. What about Aiko? Will she be alright? Not if I can help it. Wait, what? For a few moments this thought flashes mutinously through Kazuki's head. Scandoru, Lyric's darling daughter, android poster girl Aiko malfunctions on stage at local event. But one glance at the newspaper is enough to dispel it. The thing is, right, so that character, Yu, I'm pretty sure that Yu was the Chinese reading. So why would you... It's not necessary... Oh, I don't know, actually. Ugh. God, I'm out of practice with Japanese, apparently. The damage has already been done. Lightsaber goose, yep. Aiko's out of commission. She'll never work properly ever again. But Kazuki doesn't say that. He can't. The truth would break Rei's heart. All he can do is pick at his sauri, though the smell of cooked fish is starting to make his stomach churn and respond with a lackluster... We'll see, honey. We'll see. Oh, yay! Okay, good. Scandalo! Lyric's darling daughter, android poster girl Aiko, malfunctions on stage at local event. This is a headline that greets me when I sit down to breakfast on Monday morning. I can't believe it. I grip the paper, my fingers trembling. The black and white print crumples beneath my fingers. Now it's the duck talking. I'm seething. How could the papers be so cruel and callous? Why are there so many exclamation points? Oh my god! Yes, I get it, they're exclamation points. I scan through the article quickly, but I'm so enraged the words blur together. I can't take any of it in. Oh dear. Mom glances between me and the newspaper and me with a concerned look on her face. I thought this would upset you when I saw it in the paper. Of course I'm upset. This. I throw the newspaper down with disgust as though it's diseased. It flaps through the air like an oversized butterfly and lands on top of my bowl of miso soup. This is disgusting. It's slanderous. It's absolutely unacceptable. I know, honey, I know. Why do they sound so happy? It's like they wanted this to happen. Well, that's what reporters do. They report. If they can't, they'll lose their jobs. So glad. Yeah, I can't tell. It's difficult to tell because I don't know this author's work. I don't know if they're self-aware, you know what I mean? So they're glad when misfortune happens to others because it gives them something to write about? Well, you know the saying, Mom plucks the newspaper from my bowl of soup. Wait, what? It fell into the bowl of soup? Lands on top of my bowl of miso soup. Okay, right. Yeah. And sets it to one side. One man's misfortune is another's advantage. Disgusting. I clench my fingers into fists. You just say I clench my fists, right? You don't say I clench my fingers. Interesting turn of phrase. I won't accept this. I can't accept this. You don't need to, sweetie, but would you mind accepting the breakfast I made you? It might calm you down. Yeah, thanks, Mom. I sigh and take my seat at the table. The legs of the chair screech against the floor. Just the fingers' palms aren't involved. Yeah, like little baby fists. 5 little baby fists apiece. There's no sense getting mad now. It isn't Mom's fault. She didn't do anything wrong. Duh. I guess I'm a little more antsy than usual. I was so busy running that mysterious syllable through my head last night. You. I was unable to get any sleep, and I'm still no closer to solving the mystery. What does it mean? It's definitely the guy at the cafe, I think. Just who is you? So is it good? Ah, I was so immersed in my thoughts I didn't realize I'd already consumed half my bowl of soup. I don't know if it's possible to eat angrily, but if it is, I could probably win a gold medal in it. The tabletop is flecked with drops of moisture and my cheeks are sticky. Oh, gross! Why would you do that with miso soup? No! I wipe my mouth with the back of my hand, blushing guiltily. How ladylike. Sorry, Mom, I didn't realize what I was doing. It's alright, sweetie, I can tell you have a lot on your mind! Why didn't you tell me about Aiko yesterday? It must have caused quite the scene. It did, I didn't want to talk about it. It was complicated, I still don't know how I feel. I just hope Aiko will be alright. Me too. Oh my god, just move on. I don't need to talk to my mother. But there's no sense in simply hoping. I can't stand by idly, waiting for things to work themselves out. I have to take action. I need to find Aiko's programmer. He's the only one who can help her now. You. Where are you? They could be anywhere. They could be anyone. Oh, Hana. What? Maybe you should go and see Yuko. Yuko? I frown. Why are you bringing her up? Because you ran into her at your convention. You told me yesterday. I might have seen her, but that doesn't mean she wants to see me again. Can't barge into her house uninvited. Don't be silly, Hana. Nadeshiko told me only the other day that Yuko misses her old school. She does? I can't imagine that. Yuko did have a lot of friends back at school, but I wasn't one of them. We never even spoke. I don't know if Yuko liked school all that much anyway. Mr. Kosugi was always singling her out, not that she didn't bring it on herself sometimes. Apparently being at school was more relaxing than trying to be an idol. Nadeshiko told me. I'm sure Yuko will appreciate it if you see her for an hour or two. You can tell her everything that's been happening at Jomon. Well, she did ask me about school when I saw her at the handshake event. There, you see? Mom smiles smugly. And did she look upset when she saw you? No, but then there you go. I know you're worried about Aiko, sweetie, but there's nothing you can do. You might as well go and enjoy yourself. Yes, please, please go. I've been friends with Nadeshiko for years, and I know Yuko's a lovely girl. I'm sure you'd get on well. But I don't even know where she lives. I've never been to her house before. I can give you the address. That's kind of you, but I wouldn't want to intrude. Nonsense. I think it'd be good for you to get out of the house and invade someone else's. It's a lovely day. It might be a lovely day with a bright blue sky and a warm, summery sun, but I can't think about things like that now. Put the goose back. Put a new goose. I need to solve the mystery before it's too late. Just who is you? Who do I know with a you in the... Oh my god, you literally just been talking about one. I don't think Yuko is related to you, but Yuko is a Lyric employee. She's been there since last October, if I remember rightly. That's a long shot. There's a chance Yuko might know who Aiko's old programmer is. Oh look, so happy. And even if she doesn't, Mom's right. I do need to get out of the house. If I stay here, I'll go crazy. Should I visit Yuko? Sure, why not? How do I... Wait! Yes. Ah! What? Let's save. Let's visit her and get murdered. Alright, I'm gonna burp, sorry. Excuse me. I pushed my bowl of miso soup to one side. I guess it wouldn't hurt to pay Yuko a visit. I mean, finish your miso, like it's nothing. It doesn't even fill you up. So wasteful. How lovely. I'll phone Nadeshiko and let her know. But what if they're busy? It is Monday. Yuko might be at work. Yuko was working at the convention center all weekend. She's probably at home relaxing. Trying to relax anyway. I'm sure Lyric will be in quite a state right now. Mom glances at the newspaper. I'm sure Yuko's just as worried about Aiko as you are. Seeing you might cheer her up. I hope so. Just go! Oh my god. I don't know, but Yuko is the best lead I have right now. Good. I look at the floor, fidgeting awkwardly. My hair falls in front of my eyes, but I don't bother brushing it away. I can't. My short, choppy hair, you should have said. Yeah, you're right. Like, miso soup is fantastic. And, like, there's a big thing in Japan about not wasting your food. So she was very disrespectful to her mother right now. I'm so nervous I've practically turned into a stone statue like one of the heads on Easter Island. Yeah, that's what happened to them. They're not ancestors or anything. You have a nice bedroom, Yuko. Wink, wink. How can you say that, dummy, when you're staring at the carpet? Well, you have a nice carpet then. Hey, you're funny, Hana. I am? Yeah, you could be, like, a comedian. I'm not sure Yuko means it as a compliment or not. I don't know how to respond. When I dare to peek up at Yuko's face, however, I see that she's smiling. So she didn't mean it maliciously after all. Thank you. It's no problem. Why would you respond to a compliment with, like, a thank you after a compliment with it's no problem? That's weird. Yuko looks like the sort of girl you'd want to avoid. She wears revealing clothes. What? Covers her face in makeup and even smokes. She looks like the sort of girl you'd want to avoid because she wears revealing clothing, covers her face in makeup, and even smokes? What kind of a judgment is this? Oh, jeez. Her room, though distinctly girlish, smells faintly of cigarette smoke. I wonder if her mother minds. I'm sure if her employers at Lyric found out, they'd mind. Yeah, how dare she wear things she wants to wear? Idols aren't supposed to smoke. Yuko didn't get very good grades at school. She talked back to the teachers and she was always getting detentions. Mr. Kosugi in particular hated her. He still references her in class sometimes. Don't act like Miss Sayajima if you know what's good for you, although it's been a couple of years since she graduated. But Yuko, despite her foibles, really is a nice person. I wonder why I didn't talk to you more when we were at school, Hana. Our moms are like best friends. Maybe it's because you're older than me? Maybe. When you're in high school, it's largely considered uncool to hang out with kids younger than you. Yuko, who was very popular at school, had no reason to talk to me. She had more friends than she knew what to do with. I, meanwhile, I was always too shy. What's with all the geese? Well, I figured this is going to help me get through this visual novel. Yuko was surrounded by people and I had no idea how to approach her. I didn't really want to either. Hey, Hana. What? You should eat some of the cookies my mom made. They're pretty good. Thank you. No, unfortunately it's not part of the game. I take a cookie from the rose-patterned plate lying on Yuko's bed. The cookies are very cute. They're shaped like chessboards with alternating black and white squares. Black? Why would you have cookies with black squares? Like, there were these like chessboard cookies that I used to eat in Japan, but they were like brown and like cookie, like vanilla cookie-ish. I crunched the cookie between my teeth, as opposed to between my butt cheeks, letting the sweetness fill my mouth. Well, what do you think? Like, just say I bit into the cookie. Jeez. Well, what do you think? I think it would taste good with green tea. Green tea? Yuko giggles. You're just like an old woman. I like green tea. There's nothing wrong with that. I didn't say there was. I just think it's cute. I'm not cute. Oh, you are. You're very cute. Liar. Yuko gasps and presses one hand to her mouth as though scandalized. How could you accuse me of being a liar? I might be an idol, but I assure you, Ogawa Hana, I don't tell lies. The two of us begin to chat companionably for a while, even though they barely know each other. Or rather, Yuko chats to me. I listen to her, nodding my head whenever it seems appropriate. Yuko talks so much, I think she could speak for 5 people. She's so bright and bubbly. She talks about her mother's cooking, her own exploits in high school, and shares anecdotes about her current career as a trainee idol. Most of these antics involve Hideki. Oh, romance is blossoming. Whenever Hideki comes up, Yuko's eyes start to shine. She sounds even more excited than usual. I wonder. Maybe she likes him. They seem like quite a mismatched couple, the awkward, gangly Hideki and the brash but beautiful Yuko, but it's evident Yuko likes him. Maybe more than that. The whole while, the two of us pick at Mrs. Saijima's homemade cookies. They really are delicious. I'm happy spending time with Yuko, but at the same time, I can't stop thinking about Aiko, which is the whole reason why you went there. My god. Yeah, women be talking, am I right? I need to try and steer the conversation around to Aiko and her original programmer, but I'm not sure how. Every time I open my mouth, another funny story occurs to Yuko, and she steamrollers right over me. I can't get a word in edgeways. She really is a formidable opponent. Oh, this is like that.
Hey there.
What was that game that we played? Oh, thank you for following. Spy Ferret Avolt. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If this were an RPG, she'd have 6 bars of health. What was that game? Lost Word. That's it. Lost Word. Where you have to like use rhetoric, but it was kind of like a fun premise, but the game itself was a little bit meh. After a while, however, even Yuko seems to tire of talking. She starts to fish around in the pocket of her skirt and unearths a crumpled packet of cigarettes. You don't mind if I smoke, do you? It's fine. No, it's not. Thank goodness, at least you're not a boring worrywart like Hideki. But you'd get in trouble if anybody at Lyric found out. Oh, please, who cares about them? They'll all be fussing over Aiko right now. They always fuss over Aiko. She's the real moneymaker. Wait, isn't she described as having brown hair? Anyway, she's the real moneymaker. I don't know why they bothered signing me on to begin with. Yuko sounds so bitter, I blink at her in confusion. I've never heard her sound so negative before. Not that I've spoken to her much. Yeah, right? They signed you on because you're talented, I'm sure. Not compared to Aiko. She can do no wrong. She's literally an angel. I thought Sora and Tsubasa were inspired by angels. You know what I mean. Yuko waves one hand... Oh, thank God, the music finished. Yuko waves one hand dismissively, a cigarette pinched between her fingertips. Aiko's always been Miss Perfect. Well, she was until she broke down yesterday. Aren't you worried about her? Hardly. Yuko lights a cigarette and brings it to her lips. She inhales slowly, savoring the sudden rush of nicotine before she exhales. As far as we know, Yuko is not a robot. But I'm sure, what a twist, right? A plume of smoke dances through the air, coiling in on itself like the tail of a rare, translucent snake. Honestly, I don't like Aiko very much. You don't like her? Can't stand her. Call it jealousy or whatever, but I've never liked virtual idols, she says as a goose walks across her face. After I became a trainee idol myself, though, I started to hate them. Hate? That's right. Yuko's eyes are hard and steely. I hate virtual idols, particularly Aiko. But why? Because virtual idols give people unrealistic standards. They expect us all to be as perfect as Aiko. If regular girls like me smoke or drink or have boyfriends, our so-called fans go berserk. They think we should be obedient little robots. Well, if they like robots so much, they can have robots. I'm not going to bow to their standards. At least, that's what I want to say, but I can't say that, of course, or I'd never make it as an idol. I have to do what I'm told. It's all so strict, I feel like I'm going to suffocate, but I'll stick with it. I have to. I don't like giving up. And anyway, I've wanted to be an idol since I was a little girl. I always wanted to sing and dance on a stage in front of hundreds of people. There's no point doing anything in life if it doesn't make you happy, but it's hard being satisfied when I'm not allowed to act like my real self. The only way to survive in this industry without losing your humanity is not have any humanity to begin with, I guess. Jeez! Yuko scowls. Must be easy for Aiko. She just has to pout and look pretty and people will fall over themselves. They worship her, but it's not like she's even trying. Not like me. Aiko's never been told she has to change herself to be an idol. She was built to match everybody's ideals from the beginning. When I see people obsessing over virtual idols but ignoring regular girls like me, or even worse, insulting us, it starts to sting. I hate it. I hate her. Ah! I stare at Yuko with wide eyes. I stare so hard my vision blurs and Yuko seems to split into 3. And to think, we were having such a pleasant time. Her mother's cookies were delicious, and Yuko's stories were funny. She made me smile, she made me laugh. But this whole time, Yuko's hated Aiko. How could she? I know people aren't obliged to like the same things I like, but hearing Yuko talk so callously about something I love hurts. Hey, Hana? Yuko's eyes soften. You're not a fan of Aiko, are you? I'm one of her biggest fans. Ah. Yuko takes another drag on her cigarette. She purses her lips and exhales the smoke. It swirls about her head like a wreath before dissipating in the air. She should start a union with the robots and overthrow the weird 40-year-old who's way too interested in teenage girls. That would be good. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend her. It's fine, I'm not offended. Wait, you liar! You were upset. We all have different opinions, I guess, but it still hurts. I'm not sure if I'll be able to look at Yuko the same way again, not after she spoke so passionately about hating something I love. But I do understand her feelings. Thanks to Aiko's overwhelming success, it's getting harder and harder for idols like Yuko to get into the entertainment industry. People don't want real girls with real flaws, they want robots. Robots can't let you down. They don't get into scandals. They can't. Well, no, it just said scandal Aiko. Like, we were just obsessing over this newspaper headline that said scandal specifically about Aiko. They're incapable of it. But that doesn't mean Aiko doesn't try hard. I know she does. She cares about her fans. And when she thanked everybody on stage for supporting her, I believed her. I still do. Aiko reached out to me. She asked me to help her. She's in danger. I have to try. Hana! Well, what? Yuko looks at me imploringly. Her eyes are wide. They don't look very wide to me. Yeah, actual social commentary, despite contradicting itself. Yuko looks at me imploringly. Her eyes are wide. You're killing me here. But what do you mean? You look so sad. You're making me feel like a kitten murderer or something. I know you wouldn't do something like that. You're a nice person, Yuko. I don't know. Yuko sighs. She stubs out her cigarette in a rose-shaped ashtray by the side of her bed. Maybe I am jealous of Aiko. I admit it. Like I said, I'm not the kind of person who lies. I'm honest with my feelings. She's super popular and I'm super not. I'm not even a proper idol yet. I'm still a trainee. Maybe I don't have any right to complain about her. Aiko's never done anything bad to me. I don't even know if she knows I exist. I know it's childish, but I still hate her. I can't help myself. I know and I understand, but no matter what you say, I love Aiko. I don't think I'll ever stop loving her. Well, that's fine. Let's agree to disagree. Only, is there anything I can do to cheer you up? Any way to show I'm sorry? Well, I glance at my backpack. It's lying innocuously on the floor by the side of Yuko's bed. I have my music player stashed inside that bag, filled with Aiko songs, of course. Ugh. A packet of tissues and an old notebook. Oh, stop it! I don't care about the contents of your bag! There's rose-scented hand soap, some chewing gum, a wad of old receipts from the nearby convenience store that have started to disintegrate. There should be a drinking game for this game, you know? Every time it talks about, it gives you details that no one needed to hear. Take a sip. And the tablet. The tablet filled with Aiko's files. Excuse me. Again, the mysterious character crosses my mind. You. Just who could that be? I was wondering, do you know any of the programmers who work at Lyric? Stay away, little goose. The programmers, huh? Yuko wrinkles her nose. She looks thoughtful. Not really, not by name. There's no reason for me to talk to them. I'm not a robot and I don't need regular maintenance checks. I figured. But I can't let myself get discouraged now. Then do you know anybody with the character Yu in their name? Yu? Yeah, written like this. I fish my notebook from my bag and write the character down. Yuko examines it, one hand beneath her chin. My name starts with that character. I know, that's why I came to see you actually, though it's probably a coincidence. It means gentle, doesn't it? That's right, I don't know if I suit my name all that well. This game is still going, hopefully this is the last one. Do you know anybody at Lyric with this character in their name? Yuko shakes her head. I don't know that many people at Lyric, Hana. Like I said, I'm not a proper idol, I'm just a trainee. I know some of the other trainee idols and some members of the PR team, but that's it. Whenever I have a question, I usually get told to ask Hideki about it, like he'll know. I thought you liked Hideki. I do like him, but he's not the most reliable person. He tries. Desktop queues, a drinking game. What else do we have to do to get through this game? Yeah, I don't know. I'm running out of ideas. Does anyone else have any? I do like him, but he's not the most reliable person. He tries, but whatever. Why are you asking me all of these weird questions? Well, I look at my bag. The tablet is still stashed away inside. Should I tell Yuko about it? Oh, we've got a choice coming up. Sure! Tell Yuko about the tablet.
Stop encouraging.
If you really want to know... oh, thank you for subscribing.
Have honk.
Hey, thank you so much, Eric. If you really want to know, yesterday at the convention well, just say I told her about the tablet. I don't need to hear the conversation. I fidget. Discussing this is even harder than I thought it would be. I'm only talking to Yuko, but I suddenly feel like I'm facing a judge in court. My palms start to sweat. I wipe them on my thighs. Yes? My round thighs. Do you remember when she was like sexualizing Aiko? Talking about her thighs on stage? Oh, that was really gross. Yuko leans in a little closer. What did you do, Hana? Did you kill a man? No, I bite my lower lip. Maybe it would be easier to show Yuko what I did rather than tell her. I unzip my bag with trembling fingers and remove the offending object that's been weighing so heavily on my mind. The tablet. The tablet that I stole. Yes, we get it! You stole the tablet. What's this? Yuko looks at it curiously. It has the Lyric logo on it. That's right. Hana, does this belong to Lyric? It does, but yesterday at the convention, I might have liberated it. Liberated? Yuko raises an eyebrow. I don't know what it is exactly, but you definitely shouldn't have it. If anybody sees it, you could get into huge trouble. I know, I had to take it. This tablet contains all of Aiko's files. What? How could this tablet contain Aiko's files? It does. I took it from Misaki yesterday during the AIdol Fest when all the lights blacked out. Ah, I remember that. The thing is, Aiko's been contacting me the last couple of weeks. She told me there was a serious problem with her files and only her original programmer can help her. Remember when the protagonist of the game said all the posters don't know they're going to die, like the posters on the wall were sentient? I took the tablet for Aiko's sake. I'm doing this for her. Because she's important to me. When I was looking through the files, I happened to find this character buried deep inside her framework, like some kind of signature, I guess. The character was you, like the one in your name. That's why I came here. That was just a coincidence. I don't know anything about Aiko's programmer. I know her, but since you work at Lyric, I thought you might be able to help me. I glanced at her hesitantly. Can you... Hana. I'm just a trainee idol. I shouldn't be messing around with something important like this. It could cost me my career. In fact, you shouldn't be messing around with this either. It's confidential. I know that, but you might think you're helping, but you're not. You're going to make things worse, much, much worse. I don't know if the real Aiko has really been contacting you, but you shouldn't have stolen this tablet. Her files are valuable. If they got leaked anywhere, it'd be a disaster. You could end up in prison. I gasped. I knew that was a possibility when I stole the tablet, of course, but it didn't really feel real to me. Not like it does now. Prison. I could go to prison. This tablet is bad news. Why did you have to bring it here? I'm sorry. You say that, but sorry won't help you now. God, Yuko sighs. She folds her arms and taps one foot against the ground. She looks agitated. Alright, I'll tell you what. I'll take this tablet over to Lyric's headquarters right now. They're the only people who can help Aiko. But Aiko said they haven't been helping her. She needs her original programmer, or... Cut it out, Hana. You're not an employee at Lyric. You're just a teenage girl who got in over your head. You have no idea what you're doing. You save Aiko? Don't be ridiculous. It's not possible. We have to give the tablet back. There are no other options. But... I'll probably get in trouble. They'll want to know why I have the tablet in the first place. They'll ask all sorts of questions. They might even fire me, but... Yuko shakes her head. Oh well, I have to try. But Yuko! Stop it! Yuko picks up the tablet. Her long manicured fingernails curl about it. Wait! Curling fingernails? How do fingernails curl? Like... prehensile fingernails. Her long manicured fingernails curl about it protectively. That's so gross. I'm trying to clean up after the mess you made, Hana. The least you could do is thank me. Right, I'm heading off now. I don't want to look at this thing another second longer. You can come with me or not. You don't have to, but don't try and stop me. If you do, I really will be mad. Yuko puts the tablet in one of her own bags and slings it over her shoulder. Then she exits her bedroom. All I can do is watch her retreating back as both Yuko and the tablet get further and further away. So does Aiko's future. I don't know how I know, but I just know full well if Yuko gives that tablet back to Lyric, it'll all be over. Aiko will never be able to return to her former days of glory. She'll get shut down, but I can't do anything. My body is frozen with fear. I can't even budge a fingertip. All I can do is apologize. I'm sorry, Aiko. I really am sorry. Ending! Yay! End 3. No more chances. Okay, well let's, hopefully that's saved. What? No! Load! Oh my god. Should I tell Yuko about it? Don't tell. I mean, she said you can come with me or not, so I could have come with her and, like, stolen it or something. In the end, I decided to keep quiet. Even if I told Yuko, there's nothing I can do to help. So we found 3 out of 4 endings. I mean, sorry, 3 out of 8 endings. Jesus Christ. Oi! Like she said, she's just a trainee idol. She might work at Lyric, but she doesn't know any of the programmers. Showing her the tablet won't change anything. It's nothing, really. I was just being weird. Oh well, if you're sure. But Yuko doesn't sound convinced. Fortunately for me, she decides to let the topic slide. Hey Hana, I like chatting with you, but don't you think it's a little stuffy in my room? Let's go to... somewhere a little bit more comfortable. Maybe because you were smoking with the windows closed. That's what I think, but I don't say it. I mean, it's apparent that's not what you say because it's in italics and it doesn't have a dialogue thing. I don't know Yuko well enough to make sassy comments about her lifestyle choices. Oi. Hey there, William. I guess it's a little warm. That's right, it's such a beautiful day. Why don't we go out somewhere? Where? I don't know, you decide. Me? Yeah, you said you wanted green tea earlier, so maybe we could go to a cafe. I usually go to Moonbucks, but I'm sure there are lots of cool independent places I don't even know exist. Heh. Yuko smiles a full, self-deprecating smile. And I complain about Aiko. I'm just as much a slave to corporate culture as everyone else. I think everybody shops at these brand name stores. We can't help it. Hey! Lil Gramsci, thank you so much for resubscribing and for encouraging me. It's just like so much more convenient. I'll always know what I'll be getting when I order a frappe. A frappe at Moonbucks, you know? Oh, I get it. Moonbucks. It's like Starbucks. I know. Not that I go to Moonbucks very often. It's too crowded for me. I don't go to many cafes, actually. The only one I've been to during the last couple of weeks is that small one by the Coxley Center, the Virtual Net Cafe. Would Yuko like it there? I don't know. It is an idol-themed cafe after all, and is specifically devoted to virtual idols. I know how Yuko feels about those. There wasn't any idol paraphernalia on the walls, but even so, come to think of it, that's where I first met Hideki. And as for the barista, what was his name again? Sato, it was like Yuichiro or something. Yuichiro, there we go. Ah, I gasp. All of a sudden everything falls into place. Sato Yuichiro. There are a lot of ways you can write his name, but one of them is Yuichiro. Yep. It contains the same character as Yugo's name. Yu! It's the same character that appeared in Aiko's files. What if he's the one I'm looking for? Hey, Hana, did you think of somewhere good to go? But I can hardly hear Yuko. My heart is pounding too hard. I'm not trying to get every ending. No, so far it's just happened that way. Sorry, Yuko. I just want to get the good ending, you know what I mean? I scramble to my feet, disturbing the covers of Yuko's pale pink bed. I have something I need to do. But Hana, I thought we were hanging out. We were, but I suddenly remembered something. What? Yuko looks unconvinced. You're not mad at me because I said those things about Aiko, are you? No, I'm not mad. I was upset, but not mad. But this isn't about that. What is it about then? I can't tell you right now. I'm in a hurry. I'll talk to you later, okay? Oh, well, if you're sure. I'm going now. Tell your mother her cookies were delicious. I hope we can hang out some other time. I feel a bit bad about leaving so suddenly, but there's something I have to do. Yes, you've established that. Oh my god, we know. I have to talk with Sato Yuichiro. I think I'm onto something. Oh my god. I don't know what exactly, but it's definitely something big. Thank God. Hana, it's you. You're you. Pardon me? Yuichiro sets the glass he was cleaning to one side and frowns. I stand before him, my chest rising and falling beneath the fabric of my favorite shirt. My hair is a little flushed, and my hair is mussed up. Oh my god, really? Sorry, let's clean this up a little bit. Ah! Ah! Please let me get rid of these. Oh jeez, wow. Let's get rid of as many as we can. Eek! There we go. I stand before him, my chest is rising and falling beneath the fabric of my favorite shirt. My face is a little flushed, my hair is mussed up. I spent the entirety of that train journey here, tapping my feet against the floor impatiently. When I finally reached the right stop, I ran all the way here. It's a good thing this cafe is only 5 minutes away from the station, because I'm not the most athletic girl, and all that exercise has destroyed me. I must look like a beetroot. Ha! Ha! I gasp, bending forwards and press my hands against my knees. Miss, are you alright? I'm fine, but I'm not. Liar. There's nothing fine about me. There's nothing fine about this situation. My lungs feel like they're on fire. You really were eager to get here, Yuichiro smiles kindly. I think he's trying to make a joke out of it, but I can tell he's confused by my grand entrance. Yeah, it is really awkward what you just did. It's a good thing I'm the only person here. This would be even more embarrassing. Did you like the service here so much you just had to come again? It's not that. It was shit. You're you, aren't you? What do you mean? Your name, Yuichiro. You have the character Yu in your name. Whoops. I remembered. I point to his name tag. He glances down, frowning. Oh, you did? Well, that's very kind of you. Most people don't recall the names of their baristas, much less how to spell them. Yes, it stuck out to me. I thought my name was rather ordinary myself. Well, as you're here, you might as well have something to drink. Yes, please, purchase my wares. Do we have any drink left? No. No, thank you. Then why are you here, miss? It's Hana. Miss Hana. It seems like quite a waste. I came here because of this. So saying, I take the lyric tablet from my bag and place it on the desk before Yuichiro. Oh no, scene change! It's pretty light on the ground in here. Sheena is still feeling under the weather, and Maeda had to attend a wedding on the other side of the country. She won't be back for a few days. I get that, but Hideki glances around the PR office. It's so quiet one could almost hear a pin drop, which seems bizarre. Ever since Hideki read the headline in the newspapers that morning, he's been unable to stop shaking. You know that thing where people challenge each... Oh my god, we get to look at this title again. You know that thing where people challenge each other to eat really hot food or peppers? Playing games you don't enjoy basically feels like the same thing to me. I don't understand either. That is so painful. Well, it's not so much... I wouldn't say I'm 100% not enjoying this. I feel like, in some ways, it's like with my bad movie nights. In some ways, the pain is a little bit funny. For me. So... If you're not enjoying it, on the other hand, that's a completely different thing. Look at all the exclamation marks! I know, right? Jeez. Of course it would get out. He knew it would get out. Any news related to virtual idols goes global within a matter of minutes, particularly when things go wrong. It's always the bad news people obsess over, never the good. People love despair and misery. Thanks to that headline, the PR team are going to be busier than usual. At least they should be. So why is Sayuri the only one here? Where's Kenji? After everything that happened yesterday, I think he's going to be taking 1 or 2 days off. Yesterday, huh? Hideki ponders. He wasn't around to witness Kenji and Misaki's argument, but he heard about it from Ryoichi. Misaki stole the tablet. Horie Misaki. Hideki doesn't know Misaki well, but he's vaguely familiar with her from her days as a model. She had a sweet, youthful face. Kenji must be quite upset about it. Misaki too. She spent the night sleeping in a spare futon on my bedroom floor. Oh? Are you and Misaki friends? Ever since college. Sayuri shakes her head. I told her dating Kenji was a mistake, but she didn't listen to me. More goose! I know, right? I'm impressed she managed to stay with him for so long. I don't think I'd be able to last 5 minutes. It's a good thing Kenji wouldn't consider dating you then, isn't it? Yeah, I guess I'm pretty lucky. Hideki glances about the office. He runs a hand through his hair. Everyone is like pansexual in this game. Well, I know Kenji doesn't like me very much, and he can be kinda grumpy, but I hope he's alright. I hope so too. Kenji isn't a bad person per se. He's more of a coward. Yeah, the difference is that bad movies are over in 2 hours. A coward? Kenji? He acts tough like a lot of men do, but it's just a front. He's quite sensitive deep down inside. I think that's what drew Misaki to him. She saw something beneath the surface a lot of people don't, but, well, this is for them to work out, not me. Even though Misaki is staying in your home, Misaki isn't without her flaws either. And what are those? She snores. She does? Horie Misaki, the model? She sounds like a freight train. It's horrifying. I thought you looked tired. Well, it's because of that and the Aiko situation. And what about Ryoichi? Where's he? With the tech team. He's trying to find a way to trace the location of the missing tablet. Ah, makes sense. Hideki looks at Sayuri. Her face is pale and there are deep bags beneath her eyes. She looks so defeated. Let's give you a little toy. There we go. Is this the power of Horie Misaki's snoring? It must be a truly destructive force. Do you want me to make you a coffee? I thought the espresso machine was broken, and Hideki was the one who broke it. His cursed fingers seem to short-circuit every electronic device he touches. Hideki blushes. It was broken, but I think Yoichi got someone to fix it. Before the AIdol Fest, he said we'd need it. That was unusually forward-thinking of him. Well, if you don't mind, I'd be more than happy to accept your generous offer. I'm not a big coffee drinker, but I think I could use the energy. Uh-oh, we're right, I'll whip you something up right away. Hideki makes his way to the espresso machine when... Alright everyone, listen up. The door to the office is thrown open, and Ryoichi enters with a dramatic flourish. Like Sayuri, he looks a touch worse for wear. His skin is pale, and his eyes dark from lack of sleep, but he walks with a spring to his step. It must be good news. We're going on a business trip. A trip? Mm-hmm. You can step away from the espresso machine, Hideki. We can pick up something better and sit in... I've never figured out how to pronounce that. In situ? Where are we going? Did you manage to track the location of the tablet? Ryoichi grins. Wouldn't you like to know? I mean, yeah? I'm sorry, but I don't have the time for this. I have work to do. I know, but listen to me. I did listen. I heard your story, and intriguing though it is, I think you have the wrong person. But it said you in Aiko's files. That has to be you. Hana, look, I know you care about Aiko, and I sympathize with your plight. I'm rather fond of Aiko myself, but I'm not a programmer. I work at a cafe, an idol-themed cafe. Because that's what sells. Idols are popular. But I just thought that character is just a coincidence. But don't you know how many people in Fukuoka have you in their names? It's very commonplace. There must be hundreds upon hundreds, maybe even thousands. It's a big place. There's a lot of people. He's right, of course. I know he's right. This was just a wild stab in the dark. I got excited when I discovered the connection and raced off to the, well, not scene of the crime, but Yuichiro's cafe in an instant. I thought I'd connected the dots. Solved the equation. I wish you had, so we could end this. Discovered the truth. Evidently not. In real life, things don't work out quite that easily. Right, I'm sorry. I take the tablet and turn it off. I thought showing Yuichiro some of the files on this device would make him talk, provided, of course, that he really is Aiko's programmer. But he remained tight-lipped and unresponsive. He's been tight-lipped, his expression stony and dour, ever since I showed him the tablet. I guess I was just getting in his way. I hope I didn't bother you too much. Yeah, we went all this way just for a mistake, I know, right? It's fine, Hana. You came all this way because you love Aiko, right? It's understandable, and I admire your perseverance. I really do. I'm sorry there's not more I can do to help. No, it's fine. I was jumping to conclusions. I got a bit too excited, I guess. I'm the one who should be sorry. I really am. Didn't he say I really am? Oh, really, I do. Don't look so down. You should never apologize about caring. We all need to care for others a little bit more. If everybody loved each other, the world would be a better place. Tell you what, I can give you something to go if you want. A hot chocolate. On the house. How does that sound? Oh, no, I couldn't. It's all right. I insist. It's my way of apologizing. You have nothing to apologize for. I'm the one who inconvenienced you. But I couldn't help you. I know this isn't what you came here for, but I make quite good hot cocoa. It's the least I can do, really. Wait, if the whole thing is that you're running an idol cafe, but you have no idol paraphernalia around the place, even though you say that idol stuff sells, is it literally just the name? Anyway. Well, if you're sure, I'm sure. I won't be a minute. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Something's gonna happen. I take a seat at the nearest table. I set the tablet on the table and my bag on the floor. Why would you put the tablet on the table and your bag on the floor? Yuichiro hums as he sets to work. His fingers move swiftly and skillfully. I tilt my head to one side, elbow on the table, hand supporting my skull, and watch him. Of course he isn't a programmer. He's a barista. The two professions are worlds apart. How can preparing warm drinks be comparable to programming a popular, high-class idol like Aiko? But he really is good with his hands. His movements are deft. He doesn't waste a single motion. I don't give a shit. Watching him is almost hypnotizing. It's as I'm thinking this that the bell over the door jingles. A new customer? No. 3 new customers. Oh. That's it. It's really it. White tall man. We know who he is. Office lady. The tablet. Man in a suit. What did I tell you? I'm never wrong. Customers that I recognize. I've seen them before. I mean, why is this? I saw them at the Idol Fest. It's 3 members of the PR team. Hideki, Sayuri, and Roichi. Oh my god. Oh, how could this be? They're looking at me. I look back at them. The tablet must have some kind of tracking device built in. It must have activated the moment I switched it on. Now they've come for me. Maybe Aiko's involvement yesterday interfered with the tracking device and intercepted the signals. But without Aiko's aid, my location was exposed. I swallow. So that's the end of that. They'll take the tablet and maybe I'll get arrested and everything will come to an end. I'm sorry, Aiko. I really am sorry. Well, look who it is. But Yoichi, to my surprise, is no longer looking at me. He's staring at the counter. No, beyond the counter! Let's bet he's actually you, but he doesn't think Hana is ready, so we'll be playing for the next 8 hours just to circle back to this guy saying shit like, I was testing you. At the person behind it, he's looking at... Yuichiro! The 5 of us, Yuichiro, Ryoichi, Sayuri, Hideki, and I, are sitting around a wooden table in the corner of a cafe. Look at that face! The cafe is small and the tables weren't designed for parties bigger than 4, so it's a bit of a tight squeeze. Hideki's knee is pressed against mine, and he apologizes with a flustered face whenever we touch. Ooh! It would be kind of endearing if I didn't feel so tense. It's a good thing Yuichiro had the foresight to flip the sign on the cafe door to close before we conversed, to ensure we don't get interrupted in an inopportune moment. Oh, is that why he did that? Oh my god. Said inopportune moment being the reveal that Sato Yuichiro really is Aiko's head programmer. Yuichiro looks away awkwardly, scratching his cheek with one finger. He seems even more uncomfortable with Hideki. Alright, fine. That's right. I am, or was rather, Aiko's head programmer. But I'm not anymore. Now I just work this cafe. That's why I'm here. But Yuichiro glances at Ryoichi. Why are you here? We came here to get the tablet back. We had no idea this was where you worked. It was quite the coincidence. Huh? Do you 3 know each other? We know one another very well. The 3 of us go way back. I never wanted to be so wrong so badly. No, I get you, Eric. Rest assured, if I'm ever having a genuinely bad time, I will stop. But, I will, you know, if we're doing this bad movie style, you always kind of need to exaggerate how miserable you are, right? So I may come across as slightly more dramatically upset than I actually am. Having said that, that comment about Aiko's thighs last night was pretty rough, wasn't it? Anyway, Yuichi's exaggerating. We're on first name terms, but we are hardly close friends. We simply happened to work in Lyric together, though Yuichiro worked in a different department. How cold, Sayuri. Don't dismiss our relationship so casually. What of all those Christmas parties we spent getting to know each other? Really? From what I recall, all you ever got to know during those parties was a bottle of choryu. Choryu. God damn, my pronunciation's gone all confused. Choryu. Hey, don't be like that. We're pals, right? I don't know if that's a word I would use. Acquaintances, then? We know of each other. That's about it. Man. Ryoichi laughs and runs a hand through his hair. You're even colder than Sayuri. I apologize that I didn't find your lackluster, half-hearted attempts at flirtation worthy of praise or merit. Ryoichi whistles. I'm getting roasted here. You can do it? Hang in there. No, don't encourage him to sexually harass people! Jeez! So if you really are Aiko's programmer, why did you lie to me? Isn't it obvious? I didn't want you getting involved in all of this. Petty office drama? Ryoichi can be quite difficult to deal with. Hey, I resent that! See? In any event, even if I was Aiko's programmer once, I'm not right now. Like I said, this has nothing to do with me. You should drink your hot cocoa, by the way. I might be a third-rate programmer, but I pride myself on being a first-rate barista. It would be embarrassing if I hadn't picked up a few tricks of the trade over the last few months. What are you doing? That's so cute! I appreciate it, but look at that! I didn't come here to drink hot cocoa. I came here to chew bubblegum and... Anyway, I came here to ask you, no, implore you to fix Aiko. Hana. Like I said, even if I wanted to, I can't. I don't work at Lyric. Aiko's files are classified information. You could get arrested for having that tablet, and I don't want a criminal record. On top of your existing criminal record, you mean? Ryoichi! Yuichiro shoots Ryoichi a withering look. Ryoichi returns it with an easy smile and a shrug of his shoulders. What are you talking about? You have a criminal record? Through no fault of my own. It sure sounded like it was your fault to me, buddy. He's a master of mixing powder with hot water. Oh dear. That's what the president said, but it wasn't true. I did nothing wrong. Excuse me? I'm a little confused here. Right, I forgot. You joined Lyric after the whole debacle with Yuichiro, and the company kept it pretty hush-hush. Unlike Aiko's malfunction yesterday, it certainly didn't end up on the front page of any newspaper. Perhaps it would be better if you started from the top, Yoichi. Yes, please do! Let's just get it over with! Nah, I'd rather not. It's a sensitive story. I think it requires a woman's touch. Unless you'd prefer to do the honors, Yuichiro? Sorry, my jaw clicked. I've precisely zero interest in reveling in my sordid past. I'm sure Sayuri could sum it up more succinctly than me. Well then, yes, a woman's touch, that's what we need. I only know a few of the details, so it might not be entirely accurate. Sayuri clears her throat. Oh, we're actually going to get it in dialogue. Yuichiro joined Lyric 5 years ago. He was one of the pioneers of virtual reality idols, alongside his co-worker Kazuki. The two of them worked on AIdol, Lyric's first virtual idol, together, though Yuichiro, with more experience, was the one in charge. The details of Aiko's origins were strictly confidential, of course. Lyric, why are you telling this to a 14-year-old girl? The details of Aiko's origins were strictly confidential, of course. Lyric was worried rival companies would attempt to steal the blueprints. As such, the true identities of Aiko's assembly team were kept under wraps, but we're gonna just explain it to this 14-year-old girl who we barely know. Come to think of it, I'm breaking all kinds of... Okay, here we go. Breaking all kinds of confidentiality clauses, merely telling you this. It's fine! I figured it out myself already? What? It's fine, keep telling me classified information. You really are a sharp girl. I could tell the moment I set my eyes on you. Just think, you would have gotten away with your lies and deception if it weren't for this meddling kid. Ryoichi! Sorry, I couldn't help myself. Go on, Sayuri. Wait, someone in chat said the game is 80 hours long. I thought it was a joke, but what if they're right? Oh! sorry, couldn't help myself. Go on, Sayuri. Right, well, we've reached 3 out of 8 endings after... This is like the 4th stream. So... Ooh, okay. So Yuichiro managed the Aiko project for 3 years. She was finally completed in August, then unveiled to the public. Pardon me. I'm sure you know this better than anybody, Hana, but she was an instant success. Her record sold out within minutes, and her concerts were fully booked. She did a lot better than anybody had ever imagined. Yuichiro received a lot of praise for his close involvement in the project. Yuichiro is the reason why Lyric has enjoyed such success these last 2 years. Oh, stop it, Sayuri, you're flattering me. I'm doing nothing of the sort. I don't say things for the sake of saying them. I always tell the truth. She's right, you know. You haven't heard her fending off my advances before. She's brutal. Maybe you deserve it, jeez. Why aren't you fired? Well, you deserve it. Yoichi can be quite difficult to deal with. It's nice to know some things don't change. You haven't even had the pleasure of seeing him at the Christmas party after a few glasses of choryu. Oh, yay! It's hilarious. Sexual harassment at work. I'll look forward to it. Don't try and tank my reputation, Yuichiro. I'm the face of Lyric's PR team. And you're doing an excellent job of it, allowing headlines like this. Yuichiro reaches to the counter. He fishes up a crumpled newspaper. Oh, jeez. Just spilled cocoa over the tablet. And slaps it down on the table before us. I started to realize something. I might be wrong because I've never played these virtual novels, but everything was written this way because every character that appears on the screen costs the effort of the artist, so they have to extend and over-explain everything to get the money's worth. That's probably a good point. And also, this was a Kickstarter. I did a little bit of research yesterday when I was looking up reviews, and so I think part of the whole Kickstarter thing is, well, we want to make this worth people's investment, so we'll just make it really, really long, because that's what... I feel like that's what the gaming industry sort of interprets. You know, if you want a good game, people want their money's worth, as in hours sunk into the game, which is really frustrating in my opinion. You think it's just the author's style? Has anyone here played any of this person's other games, Ebihime? Because I hear that she's quite good from the reviews I was reading yesterday. But this is not really making me inspiring confidence, you know what I mean? Anyway, to get printed. The newspaper stares back at me. It's emblazoned with the headline that caused me so much grief during breakfast. Her other games are considerably different, much more detailed art style. Oh, that's interesting. It's emblazoned with the headline that caused me so much grief during breakfast. Oh, we get to read it again? Yay! Are we going to comment on the exclamation marks? Skyandoru, Lyric's darling daughter, android poster girl, AIdol, malfunctions on stage at local event. I bite my lower lip. Oh, those exclamation marks. Ryoichi too looks suitably cowed for once. He laughs awkwardly, running a hand through his fashionable hair. That was just bad luck. Bad luck? A tiny oversight. You let Aiko break down on stage and you call it an oversight? Really? Come on, I'm not a member of the tech team. I'm not smart like you guys with your code and your numbers and your if/then statements. All I know is, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Was it rolled out by chapter? Because those are often longer and explain stuff you already know so you remember the important stuff weeks later. I don't think so. I didn't read too much about the history of it, but it would make a little bit more sense, wouldn't it? And if it is broke, let it perform on stage anyway and hope that nothing bad happens? Ah ha ha, you got me. Yuichiro tuts. You're the worst. I pour all this hard work into Aiko and you ruin her reputation over something trivial like this? Ahem. If you are quite finished assigning blame, I would like to finish the story. Hana and Hideki are still in the dark. Of course, I'm sorry, please go ahead. Well, following Aiko's development, why do you care about telling Hana the story? It's so weird. I don't understand. It's just like, well, you know enough now, so just like go away? But it's like, oh, Hana and Hideki haven't finished hearing the story yet. We must let this 14-year-old girl know what's going on in our company with the top secret robot. Well, following Aiko's development, Yuichiro became very well respected within Lyric. He was the employee of the year, so to speak. He could do no wrong. He was involved in the development of a few other virtual idols following Aiko's success, Vespa and Naomi, to name two. Oh, I love Ace Attorney too. Because of Aiko's revenue stream, I was going to do my PhD in the localization of the Ace Attorney games. Because of Aiko's revenue stream, Lyric began to employ more regular idols. Ordinary girls who they claimed they could transform into stars overnight. I don't understand the transition there. Surely you should have gone one way to the other? Girls like Yuko? Lyric has always financed real idols. It was a company that specialized in human idols long before it began its research into artificial intelligence. Unfortunately, they were never as popular or profitable as Aiko. Aiko changed everything for us. It looked like everything was going well, but then a huge scandal happened. I am unclear on the precise details, given it was kept so quiet, but it seems Yuichiro was found guilty of leaking important top-secret files. This breach of security was unacceptable, so Yuichiro was fired. Just like that. Just like that. After everything he did, Lyric's president is quite the imposing figure. If Yuichiro was not responsible for the majority of Lyric's success, he would have faced an even more severe punishment. The president made sure to impress the knowledge upon me. He told me I should be grateful. Grateful! As if I should be grateful he let me go, particularly when I did nothing wrong. You didn't? No, it was all a scam. I didn't leak those files. But you were one of the only people who had access to them. I don't understand who else it could have been. Well, what about the other person who was working on the thing? I have a few suspects. Not that it matters, I suppose. It's too late now. I've already been fired, and I'm legally required to stay away from the Lyric headquarters. I haven't played the Elsa's other games, but I've read plenty of other things that are just written uneconomically like this. It's typical of someone new to writing, I think. This is not their first virtual novel, though. It's the thing that bothers me, you know? Like, this person has a whole backlog of games. So I don't understand this. It's over. So that explains why Yuichiro lied to me. It wasn't simply for my sake. He doesn't want to get dragged back into this conflict. To a certain extent, I understand how he feels, but it's not over. Excuse me? I said it isn't over. Listen to me. I'm a 14-year-old girl. I grabbed the newspaper from the table and thrust it in Yuichiro's face. Jeez! Look, Aiko's in danger. There's something wrong with her and she needs you to fix her. She doesn't need me. I'm sure it's a small bug that got out of hand. Another member of the tech team can handle it. Well, I wouldn't be so sure about that, actually. What? The tech team have been having problems with her for a while. Ever since you left, actually. It seems like somebody's been tampering with her files, but whoever it is did a pretty good job at covering their tracks. We were thinking if there were any complications at AIdol Fest, we might have to shut Aiko down. No! That's right, sad but true. Nobody needs an virtual idol who can't perform. She'd be a waste of resources, worth less than the material used to make her. But you can't get rid of Aiko. We don't want to either, but if nobody at Lyric can fix her... I stare at Yuichiro, clasping my hands together. I can feel my heart pounding. Yuichiro, please! You're the one who made her! You might be the only one who can fix her! And I promised Aiko. I told her I would help. I have to help, but I can't do it on my own. Hana, I understand that you feel strongly about this, but like I said, it's not possible. I can't go back to Lyric. I don't want to. There are too many, There are too many bad memories associated with that place. Like me during the Christmas parties, you mean? Oh my god, you bloody creep. Yes, I remember those days. A brief smile alights on Yuichiro's face, but it vanishes within seconds. I just can't, Hana. Like Ryoichi said, I already have a criminal record. It would be too dangerous. A brief smile alights on you. Wait, whoops. But you said you didn't leak those files. I didn't. Then you need to prove your innocence. You can't clear your name if you sit in this cafe, here in this cafe for the rest of your life. Yuichiro shakes his head. I thought about getting revenge, of course. I was outraged, infuriated. I wanted nothing more than to strike back against Lyric. I built them up with my own 2 hands, and then they turned against me. They betrayed me. I'm fed up with this world, but that anger soon faded away. War flashback. I realized something. What? My own powerlessness. I'm just one man. Lyric is a whole company. When it comes to a contest of he said, she said, might is always right. That's dark. If Lyric have decided that I leaked the files, who am I to protest? There's no way for me to clear my name, and even if there was, the damage has already been done. I'm too old for all of this nonsense. I just want to spend the rest of my days in peace. Too old, he says. Yoichi snorts. He looks unconvinced. You're younger than I am. Yes, well, you've always tried to pretend you're 10 or 20 years younger than you really are. He has no idea what it means to age gracefully. Stop that, you two. I'm only in my early 40s. You act like I have one foot in the grave already. There are decades left to me yet. Wait, what? You're in your 40s? Surprised? He still thinks he's a young man, Hideki. He wishes he was your age. Psh, I never waste my time wishing I was something I'm not. I'm happy being me. Sure, sometimes it's kind of stressful. He gestures towards the newspaper. But at the end of the day, it's not that bad. I wouldn't trade it for the world. I know who I am, Yuichiro. But who are you? Send them a virus and destroy the company. Yuichiro glances away. He bites on his lower lip. You can play at being a barista all you want, but that's not where your true passions lie. I know. Wait, why does he want him back now? You talked to me a couple of times about Aiko when you were still in the process of building her up, and I've never seen anybody sound so enthusiastic. But that was a long time ago. It isn't who I am. Just change your mind, my god! Then why did you list your cafe as a virtual idol cafe? Excuse me? You say you're finished with idols. You don't want anything to do with them anymore. And if that was true, I'd understand, but you listed your cafe as an idol cafe. I already told you, that's for the business, I know, but I don't believe you. You listed your cafe as an idol cafe because deep down inside you still love idols. You still love Aiko. She's like a daughter to you and you don't want her to get shut down. Hey there, K-Shizzle! She doesn't want to get shut down either, she told me. Well, what do you mean? I pull my phone out of my pocket and tap on the Paku Paku icon. Then I shift through my chat history with Heart Song. I scroll through the reams upon reams of messages we've been exchanging during the last week, when she first found out my contact details. I was skeptical at first. Anybody would be. I don't know if it's enough to convince Yuichiro, but if he's the one who programmed her, he should be able to tell. It's Aiko. It's definitely Aiko. Read the logs, you'll understand. I hand my phone over to Yuichiro. He looks suspicious, as well he might, but he accepts. His eyes flick from right to left as he reads through my conversations with Heart Song, his finger occasionally tapping against the screen as he scrolls down. Ooh, what's this? A chat log? From Heart Song, huh? Now that sounds familiar. Heart Song. Yuichiro's fingers tremble. That was Aiko's name during the early development stages. The Artificial Intelligence Idol Project, beta subject number 1, Heart Song. Huh? I didn't know that. Me neither. Well, you wouldn't. This information wasn't released to the public. It was private. It was private, so how does this person know? Because it really is Aiko. She was messaging me over the last 2 weeks because she wanted to find you. She was scared and confused and nobody at Lyric could help her. Oh, please let this be the end. She wanted to see her program again, but she couldn't remember who you were. That sounds like something the president would do. I was in disgrace, after all. He didn't want Aiko to remember me. He didn't want her to contact me. All my ties with Lyric were severed, and even Aiko. I never forgot her, but she forgot me. But she didn't. She remembered. That's why she went through all these lengths to find you. She knew you were the only person who could fix her. But I can't. Come on, Yuichiro. Yes, come on! I know you think I'm an idiot, and maybe I kinda am, but I'm at least smart enough to know this much. I love how they've all just forgotten her, like, they've forgiven the fact that Hana stole company property, you know? Like, that they're now letting her in on confidential company secrets. Oh dear. Ryuichi rests a hand against Yuichiro's shoulder. Is it supposed to be comforting? You're the right person for this job. But Lyric, they won't let me back in the building. Maybe not if you're on your own, but you're forgetting who I am. I'm the great Ryuichi. A flamboyant old man who doesn't know when to give up. That too, but I'm also the head of the PR team. I have some authority over there, and I can get you in. I'm sure of it. I don't know. Oh, come on, what have you got left to lose? Oh, please, thank you. Hey there, Sophie the Bookworm. This place brings back memories. Good memories, I hope. Just memories. Yuichiro sighs and shakes his head. I never thought I'd come back here. Never thought I'd want to either. Oi! No, I'm trying to get a toy to play with you garbage goose. It's kind of imposing, huh? Let's get rid of that ball. What does this do? I see, it's kind of imposing, huh? I'm inclined to agree. Though the Lyric headquarters are fairly humble as far as office buildings go, the numerous glass windows really give it a sleek, modern feel. I thought the plot was going to be like the Black Mirror episode with Miley Cyrus. Oh, I'm not familiar with that one. Sunlight reflects upon the multiple panes of glass, making them shimmer. This is the place where Aiko was created. Yes, I know, and I'm staying next to the person who created her, Sato Yuichiro. Alright, that's enough standing around. Let's go. Yuichiro takes a step forwards. That's a very long step. His head held high. The four of us follow along behind him. Surely Ryoichi should go ahead. Thanks for the clip, Aurea. Yuichiro is still dressed in the garb of a barista, but he walks with such confidence it's impossible to doubt him. The automatic doors slide open, granting us entrance to Lyric's reception room. Security guards stand by the elevators to the left and right of the room. The desk, meanwhile, is manned by a very pretty receptionist with carefully applied makeup. I recognize her. It's the same clerk I met last week because we didn't want to draw another character. Whoops. Hello and welcome to Lyric. I hope you have a nice day. Same to you, sweetheart. Oh! Ryoichi winks at her. The clerk's perfect smile falters for a few moments. He's trying to hold back a small sigh. Oh. Why are we normalizing this? Ryoichi seems none the wiser. He nods to himself, smiling proudly. Yep, I've still got it. If by it you mean an innate ability to make women cross over to the other side of the road when they see your face. Come on, Sayuri, don't be such a killjoy. There is no road. There's a figure of speech. Oh my, and I recognize you, of course, young miss. Wow, everyone recognizes Hana. Even though she's like, oh, but who am I? I'm nobody. The clerk peers at me, her smile, though severely tested, now shinier than ever before. You do? Of course, you're the girl who came in here a while ago asking about any upcoming Aiko events, are you? How many people go through these headquarters every day? Yes, you gave me a poster. I didn't think you'd recognize me. I always remember a face, and you were so very polite, I couldn't help but recall you. And yet... The clerk glances at Ryoichi. What are you doing with Mr. Kitamura? He didn't kidnap you, did he? Oh! Don't be like that, Kotomi. You know I'd never do anything cruel. Kotomi, yes, well, forgive me if I don't trust you. I've had to deal with your pickup lines every single morning for the last 5 months. Oh, this is uncomfortable. Oh, come on, you love it. Ugh! Oh, this isn't charming. I really don't. Women, never satisfied. I don't know how Kenji managed it for so long. Anyway, Kotomi, I'd love to stay and chat, but we have business to attend to. With this girl? I'll make sure he doesn't do anything inappropriate, Kotomi. You have my word. Whoa! Is it that serious? Okay, why is he still employed? Well, if you're with him, Sayori, I'm sure you can keep him in line and stop him from molesting this child? What the hell? Why is this conversation being had? And I'll do my best too. What the fuck? That's sweet of you, Hideki, but you're not the most imposing of people. If anybody can keep Kitamura in check, it's Sayori, and perhaps, like, the HR department? Oh, jeez. Ryoichi... I take it Ryoichi's the villain of the story? No. So far, he is not the villain of the story. He is one of the heroes. Ryoichi clicks his tongue against the roof of his mouth. Yeah, this was a choice. There should be a villain, I'm pretty sure. Why are you talking like this? Probably someone who's been tampering with Aiko's files, so we need to catch. Why are you talking about me like I'm some kind of criminal? I'm not like Yuichiro. Yuichiro's eyes darken. That's a low blow and entirely uncalled for. Now let's go. Yuichiro stalks on ahead, just like Ryoichi stalks women. We follow him, Ryoichi mumbling mutinously under his breath the whole time, while Kotomi implores us to have a nice day. One of the security guards by the elevator gives Yuichiro a glare, but Ryoichi flashes his ID and says, "He's with me, authorized access." The security guard ponders for a few moments, but Ryoichi's role as the head of the PR department wins out in the end. The guard sighs and stands to one side, arms folded. "Oh, looks pretty happy. If anything goes wrong, Kitamura, I'm not going to be held responsible." "Don't worry about it, I have it all under control." "For your sake, you better. You're already in hot water." I know. Gee, stop getting on my case when I'm trying to fix things." We step into the elevator and wait for a few moments, cramped together in awkward silence. Ryoichi tries to make small talk, but Yuichiro seems more interested in staring at the wall. His expression is inscrutable. I wonder, is he lost in nostalgia? Maybe he's thinking about the days gone by when he was still respected by Lyric. Excuse me. And he didn't have to worry about being chased out like a criminal. No, not just like a criminal. He really is a criminal. Yuichiro taps one foot against the floor, anxious, unable to stand still. Not even Yoichi's jokes are enough to disperse the heavy atmosphere. And we're here. Hey there, Hazardius. Hope you're doing well. The elevator dings. Our group steps out onto the 7th floor. Programming department, apparently, or at least a portion of it. Okay, finally, the plot is happening. The corridors are lined with glassy windows. Sunlight streams in, illuminating specks of dust that drift lazily in the air. There's some recording equipment scattered here and there. Maybe Lyric was busy setting up for some kind of photo shoot. A strange smell hangs in the air. It's a little different from the aroma of coffee that lingered in the foyer. It smells like a human body sweat. Is it disinfectant? It kind of reminds me of a hospital. Huh, I never thought I'd miss the smell of this place. I certainly don't. I hate coming here. Well, excuse me for being sentimental, princess. I did work here for almost 5 years. Wow. Hideki glances around the hallway with wide eyes. He looks impressed. It's just a hallway. I've never been on this floor before. I had no idea it was so bright? That's right, there are so many windows and it's so light. That's not really good for computer equipment, is it? It's kind of pretty. I can see my face in all these windows. Generic corridor, such an inspiring photo shoot scene. I like that Yuichiro still has a towel over his shoulder, a barista through and through. The PR office, meanwhile, is falling apart! It's all favoritism. The programming department demands a far higher budget. The work done here is a lot more complex, and it requires seasoned professionals. Any idiot can work in PR. Ahem. Sayori coughs delicately. Oh, is that what she was doing? Well, maybe not anyone, but just one look at Ryoichi should prove my point. You hardly need to be a rocket scientist to deal with public relations. I suppose not. I wonder how he was able to become our boss. It's people skills, Sayori. Charisma and confidence, and good looks don't hurt either. I'm more inclined to call it nepotism. Call it whatever you want, but I'm still your boss. Oh, yes, bite his hair. Hey there, Araxine. Hope you're doing well. You might think I'm an idiot, Yuichiro, but I'm an idiot who was at least able to hold on to my job. Snap. Yuichiro looks at Ryoichi. Ryoichi looks back at him. Yuichiro breathes in. He clears his throat. He opens his mouth. And then... Alright, fine. Point taken. He shakes his head and the tense atmosphere is dispersed almost instantly. I don't have enough time to argue with you. Yes, good. None of us have enough time to listen to this garbage. If Aiko really is in danger, I need to see her as soon as possible. A venerable viewpoint. Let's go. Please, no, we're right. Oh, and Hideki, don't touch anything. We all know how good you are with technology. Some of the equipment in here is rather expensive. If you break it, your life would no longer be worth living. Eep! Oh, thank God. Okay. We set off down the hallway. I spend much of my time glancing about, staring. Stomp, 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 stomp. Hey there, Drew from Gary. Yes, unfortunately, we're still playing AIdol. Although I think we're sort of on the tail end now. I think this is like the final act. Fingers crossed, anyway. A good boxing match would really lighten the mood. We set off down the hallway. I spend much of my time glancing about, staring. Sorry, I just wanted to see how long this stamping goes for. I can't believe it. I'm inside the Lyric headquarters. I'm inside the place where they made AIdol. I'm so excited. I'm so close. Let's put this here. I'm so close to her, I can almost taste it. Or maybe that's just the strong scent of disinfectant in the air. Are you alright, Hannah? I'm fine. To tell you the truth, I feel a little out of my element myself. I mean, I'm only an intern. Is it even all right for me to be in here? It's definitely not right for a 14-year-old girl to be in there. I hope I don't break anything. For your sake, Hideki, I hope you don't break anything either. Duly noted. I'm sure it will be fine. I love this gift. This is so cute. I'm sure it will be fine. I'll keep an eye on you. Thanks, Sayuri. Oh, good. We're back to walking. The corridor stretches on and on. Ugh. Like this story. I've only been walking for 20 seconds, but it feels like an eternity. Like this game. My footsteps sound far too loud, like they were generated by some kind of sound effects program. They agitate my ears. I can hear my heart thumping. Can everybody else? We're almost there, just a little further, and then what the we don't need this, but Yuichiro's voice breaks off. He comes to a halt. One of the doors to our right has opened, and a man steps out. Oh, it's a man I haven't seen before, but my colleagues all seem familiar with him, even Hideki. Mr. Himura! This man, Mr. Himura, is tall and imposing, though a few inches shy of Ryoichi. His eyes are cold and hard, like shards of ice have been inserted inside his pupils. They grow colder and harder still when they settle upon Yuichiro. Yuichiro, what on earth are you doing here? Yuichiro doesn't waver. He replies without missing a beat. Aiko called for me. She said she was in trouble. Aiko? Oh, scary music. That's right. She was searching for me. In desperation, she sent messages to this girl's phone. He gestures towards me. Even though that's in direct violation of her core personality code. Virtual idols aren't meant to share classified information with the general public. It's strictly forbidden. It's true. Aiko sought me out. She talked to me. She asked me to help her. Yes, the bartender was the original programmer of Aiko. Well recognized. She asked me to help her. She asked me to help her find her programmer, Yuichiro. But that isn't possible. Aiko shouldn't have been able to act outside her set parameters. You're forgetting who created her, Kazuki. Despite her sweet demeanor, she's always had a bit of a stubborn streak. Mr. Himura, or should I say Kazuki, opens and closes his mouth. For a few moments he seems stuck for words. When he finally forces them out, they sound almost pained. But how could Aiko contact you? You were fired for gross misconduct, Yuichiro. All information pertaining to your identity should have been wiped from her hard drive. She was meant to believe I was her head programmer. She was reprogrammed to contact me whenever she had an issue, not send messages to an unrelated third party, especially not a young girl. I supervised her reprogramming myself. How could this have happened? It's quite simple, really. You didn't do a thorough enough job. Ah! Virtual idols aren't mere tools we can control. They are wills of their own. I crafted Aiko's personality, so I know. Even if you reprogram her, she won't lose what makes her Aiko. She'll never forget that she's my rebellious, hard-headed daughter, even if she forgets who I am. I suppose it's understandable that you would forget this, Kazuki. I was always a superior programmer. That's why I was the one in charge of Aiko's creation, not you. Ooh, they hate each other. Kazuki grits his teeth together. And you've always held it over me, haven't you? I don't have anything to hold over you now. I was fired for gross misconduct, as you said, and you were able to remain here. Isn't that what you wanted? Now you don't have to share your success with anybody else. Kazuki takes a step back. The shards of ice in his eyes seem to have melted. He doesn't look angry anymore. Instead, he looks hurt. You think that's what this is about? You think I was jealous? Isn't that it? Isn't that why you framed me? Silence. And then, No way! Ooh, this is getting interesting. Is it? Ryoichi. Ow! Sayori gives Ryoichi's right ear a pinch. The head of the PR department winces. Alright, fine. I see you bear some feelings of resentment towards me, Yuichiro, and after what I did, I don't blame you, but I was never jealous of you. I respected you. I looked up to you. The way they speak about Aiko is really creepy, Aimer. Yeah. Then why? Kazuki closes his eyes. His head hangs. I did it for her sake. For her daughter. Your daughter? I did it for Rei. 2 years ago. Oh. Ah! Oh, okay. Alright, the doll lay on the floor, its eyes closed, its long lashes were matted together. I mean, at least she doesn't have female-presenting nipples, otherwise we'd be in trouble. Its soft pink hair brushing its cheeks. Its thighs. Are we going to talk about its thighs? It was the first creation to come from Lyric's artificial intelligence idol project. Heart Song. Though it looked undeniably female... Well, it's not got female-presenting nipples, so it can't be. Kazuki could not truly call it a her. It was nothing more than a hollow, empty husk, devoid of life. Put some goose over that. Yes! There we go. Much better. It looked human, but that was nothing more than a ruse. No human would be able to lie on the cold, hard floor for such an extended period of time, legs sticking out at such awkward angles. It would have been too comfortable. What if they're dead? Heart Song, however, did not need to worry about such creature comforts because it was not human. I mean, to be fair, we played L.A. Noire, and there's like full frontal nudity in L.A. Noire, and somehow that was okay. So surely this is okay. But either way, you know, let's cover that up. Heart Song, however, did not need to worry about such creature comforts because it was not human. It was something entirely different. Though Kazuki had helped oversee the production of this creature, he was more hesitant around it than anybody else. He knew, though others might not, that this shell, no matter how expertly crafted, was hollow. Even if it one day obtained life, it would not be real life. It would be a life created from chips and circuitry. Its neural pathways were composed of wires. It looked disconcertingly... We've already established this aspect of his personality without going into this now. You know, like, he's already, like, through his self-talk and things like that, we understand his feelings about this. It looked more disconcertingly lifelike, but that only made its existence even more disturbing. Its hair had been harvested from a real human. This hair had been sewn into the creature's scalp, follicle by follicle, to create one of the most expensive and convincing wigs there was. At least they were absolutely adults in L.A. Noire. Yeah, that's a very good point. Its individual eyelashes and eyebrows had been inserted into its skin, one by one, and sewn carefully in place. That's gross. Its skin had been specially designed to flush about the cheeks, the nose, and the tips of the ears when it became too cold, with microscopic sensors embedded beneath its flesh. It did not look perfect. It was far from perfect. Its cheeks were round, its teeth were not evenly spaced, and its lips would chap in the cold. But that was what made it, in Yuichiro's words, human. Humans were not perfect, after all, but this falsely constructed facsimile only made Kazuki distrust the creature even more. If it had looked perfect, like some of the other virtual idols produced by rival companies, Kazuki would have minded less. Perfection in all its unconvincingly mask-like beauty is so transparently constructed, one could never mistake it for something natural. That was not the case with the real doll, Heart Song. Aiko is probably the head guy's dead daughter or something like that. That's a twist, isn't it? Oof. Heart Song was unnerving in its imperfections. It was so close to what it attempted to mimic that it had almost ceased to be mere mimicry. Kazuki was anxious. What would happen when it was brought to life and he would be forced to consider it not as it, but as she? Do you know what name you want to give it? Yuichiro pondered, still fussing over the doll. Today was to be the fateful day. The fruits of the programming team's efforts during the last year and a half were finally going to pay off. At long last, they were going to bring their first test subject to life. Hurry up, hurry up. It was like something from Frankenstein, Kazuki mused. Their Heart Song hadn't been crafted from dead bodies, just silicon synthetic fibers, electrical chips and wires, and real human hair, right? At least the geese memes are fun, I know. Yes, we've always got the geese memes, and I can move this out of the way. Heart Song was more sanitary than its gothic horror counterpart. Cuter, too. Too cute. I'm not sure, to be honest. I've never been very good with names. Wait, who is talking? Oh, Yuichiro. I've never been good with names. You mean you've been working on this project for over a year and you still don't know? I'm not a family man, unlike you. I have no prior experience. It was a fair comment. Unlike Kazuki... You just established that! If you say I'm not a family man, the implication is that I don't have children. You don't need to say it again! Unlike Kazuki, Yuichiro didn't have children. He'd never been in the position of bestowing a name upon a new life form. Do you not have a pet? Apart from maybe pet goldfish. There you go. That wasn't really the same. What about toys when you were growing up? How did you decide on Rei's name anyway? It was Itsuki's idea. It's written with a character for elegance. Huh, I'd say that suits Rei perfectly. It's a shame Itsuki isn't here now. I think women have more of a knack for names than men. What is with all this casual sexism, like, just scattered around this script written by a woman? Anyway, if Itsuki was here, she'd say that's a generalization. There we go. Stop shirking your responsibilities, Sato. Right. Yuichiro laughed again. Kazuki wondered whether it was a nervous tic. Being the one in charge of Heart Song's creation, he had more to lose than anybody else. If this was a failure, his reputation at Lyric would be in ruins. Lyric had poured a good deal of time and money into researching and creating Heart Song, and they wanted results. A failure to comply could have some rather nasty consequences. A name, huh? I thought I should worry about that after she's opened her eyes. Well, that was a crucial difference between Yuichiro and Kazuki. Right from the beginning of the project, Yuichiro had always, a touch stubbornly, Kazuki thought, referred to Heart Song as her. Never it. Most parents start thinking of names before their child is born. I suppose, but most parents don't piece their children together with their own two hands. I'd have thought that would only encourage you to think of a suitable name. I would think that would only encourage you to think of a suitable name. You built it yourself. Isn't Heart Song good enough? Oh, it's like just... It was during the early stages, but look at all the progress you've made. Kazuki gestured towards the doll, still lying sprawled on the floor. It was naked. Yes, we know, we've seen it. Its limbs so white and pale, they almost seem to glow. Please don't take us back there. It doesn't look like a Heart Song anymore. It looks like a human. Worryingly naked. As such, I think it needs a human name. All right. You can be awfully persistent about the strangest of things. Yuichiro smiled. I guess that comes from being a father. Names are important, right? Names shape how others perceive your children. And I thought you said Heart Song was like a child to you? Both of these programmers should be villains. Yeah. That's right, she hasn't opened her eyes yet, but I really do love her. My beloved child. That I'm just staring at, who's lying naked on the ground. Yuichiro's fingers hovered over the electrical switchboard. Is any of this story necessary? Just name it. He's examining gauges and making a few last-minute altercations, but his instructions to the programming team had been precise. There was no margin for error. They could not allow this to be a failure. He would not. Heart Song was going to open her eyes. She was going to live. And when she came into this world and suddenly knew how to touch and taste and smell and think and talk and feel, what name would she go by? I know. What about Aiko? Oh my god, all that, and we had to look at this naked person for like half of that. It really worked? That's right, eh? Wow, that's amazing. Thank you very much, but I couldn't have done it on my own. Your dad deserves some praise too. Rei giggled. Kazuki rarely saw Rei smile this much, certainly not on her own, and it warmed his heart. It made the meat and potato stew Itsuki had prepared for dinner even more delicious. You two worked really hard. Good job, Dad. Well, you know, Kazuki shrugged modestly. A job is a job. I need to work so you can eat. Rei poked the white rice in her bowl with the tips of her chopsticks. Being an adult sounds hard. It's not all bad. I mean, I essentially get paid to play with dolls all day. Very expensive dolls, which could bankrupt our company if not utilized correctly. Yuichiro laughed and carelessly waved his chopsticks with one hand. Details. Oh, God. That's right, dear. Don't be so down on yourself. You did something incredible today. You should celebrate. Wait, how old is this child and why does she have breasts? This is 2 years before... Anyway. I mean, you know, people can be early developers and all, but like... You did something incredible today. You should celebrate. Is it really incredible? Kazuki frowned. No, you don't. Solar eclipses, shooting stars, and meteorites hurling from space were incredible. These natural phenomena that humans could not control, only observe, filled Kazuki with more awe than this silly little project. Did we ever get to see Hana's dad, or was he absent the whole way through? We have not seen him yet. I don't think he has a character. I mean, a sprite. Playing God for the sake of CD sales. It all seemed so tawdry. Then again, Itsuki always said he was too serious. There was more to life than the stars in the sky. They were up there and he was down here. And while humans still lived on planet Earth and Mars was yet to be colonized, he might as well make the best of it. Yay! Colonization of Mars. Kazuki had always been fond of space. In his youth, he had dreams of becoming an astronomer. Lyric isn't the first company to create a virtual idol. The market in Tokyo is jam-packed. Every other prefecture seems to have an idol of their own. That wasn't an exaggeration either. Just the other day, Kazuki had seen a virtual idol used to advertise a new brand of glass noodles on television. Oh my god, it's insufferable. The virtual idol market wasn't new. It had been around for a good 5 years already, and there were numerous popular and not so popular virtual idols who consistently made it onto the Oricon charts. Colonization? Britain came from the shadows. Yeah, you can experience puberty earlier and still be able to go about your life not being sexualized. Exactly. Most of these idols had been developed in Tokyo. Lyric had started to invest in virtual idol technology a little too late. But Yuichiro remained unfailingly positive as always. We might not be the first, but no other company has perfected the art like we have. Considering Hana's mum's behavior, I think Hana was from artificial insemination. Yeah, quite possibly, given that, don't want to destroy her by letting her go outside or whatever. You're awfully confident. I have every right to be confident. We've made leaps and bounds, Kazuki. We'll revolutionize the world. I'm glad my husband works with you, Yuichiro. Itsuki laughed, holding one hand against her cheek. Oh, is something going on between them? He's always been such a hard worker, but he lacks ambition. His head is in the clouds, or stars, as it were. He needs somebody to yank him back to earth. This game really wants me to write my own visual novel out of spite. Yeah. I have a visual novel in the works, actually, personally. I wanted to have finished it without ever having played a visual novel, and just have, this is what I think a visual novel should be, and then start playing them to find out what they actually are like. I'm doing one of the My Immortal fanfic. But yeah, we'll see. This definitely, the script that I've got for that visual novel so far is a lot better. It's a lot more concise. There's a lot less monologuing. It's more interaction based. It's actually a game. Anyway, I'm not a child, Itsuki. You act like it sometimes, dear. You're so surly. I don't think anybody could stay surly if exposed to Aiko for too long. She's like my daughter. Yuichiro gesticulated for effect. No words came to him. Words were lost. Why would you say the same thing twice? No words came to him. Words were lost. Wait, wouldn't you say lost for words? Her large round eyes, her bulgy thighs, her soft sweet smile, her gentle polite style of speech. She was going to be a star. I think it was just going to be called My Immortal, the visual novel. Even they seemed to realize there was something special about Aiko. Yuichiro had been to the Himura household for dinner several times, and since the beginning of the Heart Song project, and he had talked to Rei earnestly about Aiko's creation. I am really salty about the thighs. That was really not something that I wanted to hear from a 14-year-old girl. It was just something about that which really grossed me out. He knew he wasn't supposed to. It was, after all, top secret. But Rei was Kazuki's daughter, and she had been sworn to secrecy. Yuichiro trusted her. The words were lost in the edit. This is the abridged version. She was such a funny, serious little thing. Funny? Serious? Yuichiro couldn't imagine her going back on a promise. Aiko sounds amazing. I wish I could see her someday. I wish you could see her too. She's a real work of art. But even if you can't see her... Oh, yeah, we're gonna go on about the fact that she's blind again. You should be able to hear her. I can? That's right. We didn't make her so we could keep her locked away in the lyric labs and stare at her. She's supposed to be an idol. Idols exist to sing. She's going to use her voice to bring hope to others. My Immortal, the fanfic, the visual novel, the game. Hey, morning, MouseGen7171. Hope you're doing well. That sounds incredible. I mean, like, that's literally what the whole thing was for, so why are you acting so surprised? Don't let yourself get taken in, Dave. He's getting carried away. But I can't help myself. I was going to be something special. I know it. Yes, hurry up. Do you mean it? I mean it, I promise. Oh my god, thank god. Yuichiro was right, too. Aiko's popularity skyrocketed within weeks of releasing her first single. This has already been laid out so many times. We don't need to hear it again. Contrary to Kazuki's pessimism, Aiko is not relegated to the sale of glass noodles like some of her other less fortunate contemporaries. Yes, we have Desktop Goose. I couldn't handle it without it. Aiko is not perfect, as Kazuki already knew, but that made the general public fawn over her all the more. It's basically like that cynical thing with, I don't know if you're familiar, AKB48. They're a ridiculous idol band with 48 members, which is where they get their name, Akihabara 48. And it's this really, really cynical idea. Like, you have to admire the evilness behind this idea. The idea is to have like 48 different members so that way there can be a concert every day, right? And at the same venue. And when they tour, they can tour a bunch of different places simultaneously and make more money. And, with not all the same people performing. And also it means that fans, if you're a super fan, then you're going to go and see all the different people's concerts. And you're also going to, like, the different albums will have different covers for all the different people. So if you're a big fan of this one person, you'll get the version of the album with that person on it. Or you might want to collect them all if you're like a super AKB48 fan. It's really, really gross. And not only that, but the way that they pick the people, so they're all basically high school students, or I think like they have to retire when they're early 20s or something like that. But the way that they were picked in particular was they didn't want to choose the most attractive people. They wanted to choose people who were attractive, but not too attractive, because the idea is that all of the people in the band need to feel like they are attainable as partners. So it's like, well, like that absolutely gorgeous person there wouldn't look twice at me, but this person might choose me. So it was like tapping deep into everyone's insecurities about not being good enough and choosing these people. And oh my god, it like, that's the thing, like, you can't be too, like, you have to admire that level of cynicism, you know what I mean? It's so messed up, but of course they're making heaps of money. It's really gross. Anyway, so this seems to be the similar sort of concept here, where she's not perfect, but that sort of makes her more likable as a person or an idol here. Aiko, with her funny, antiquated way of speech, her slightly awkward manner of composing herself, and the way her cheeks flushed whenever she was asked a difficult question during an interview, was unimaginably endearing. The other virtual idols, manufactured by larger companies in Tokyo, might have been prettier and more professional than Aiko, but there was something coldly precise about them. Like instruments in a hospital, they were more than sufficient at doing their job, but their job was all that they could do. They hadn't been created for any purpose other than singing, dancing, and looking attractive. They had no real personality. That sounds a lot like AKB48, honestly. They weren't people. Oh wait, no, not AKB48, but like a lot of idol groups in Japan. They weren't people, they were machines. Perfect, yes, but lacking in heart. Aiko, meanwhile, seemed to ooze natural charm like any other regular girl. Someone understood extremely well how shitty the system is and decided not to work against it, but to get rich. Exactly. Yeah, I know, it doesn't make sense that you'd call these virtual idols because they're androids. Anyway, but Aiko was not a regular girl. She might have managed to fool the nation, but she couldn't fool Kazuki. Kazuki had been there during the... Like, we understand he resents her! During the process of her creation, and he knew better than anyone that the much-loved Aiko is nothing more than a doll. She had what appeared to be a personality, thanks to Yuichiro's clever fingers and diligent work, but it was all a lie. An elaborate sham. At least, that was what Kazuki told himself. But as time wore on, it grew harder and harder to convince even himself. I'm American, is this not commonplace? Touché. It was impossible not to love Aiko. Oh my god, just, hey Day, did you have a good day? They always responded like that, but she really smiled. Not properly. Her smiles failed to light up her eyes. What were you studying? Anything interesting? The classics. Mom talked to me a bit about the Tale of Genji. I remember studying that in school. Do you like it? It was rather dramatic. It would probably make a good TV series. Speaking of which, Day was curled up on the couch, a cushion in her lap. There was a half-eaten orange sitting on the table, its skin neatly peeled away. Every once in a while, Ray would reach forward and pop a segment of orange into her mouth. What's that got to do with TV? Oh, the TV was turned on, buzzing away in the background. Not that she could see anything, because she's blind! What are you listening to? You can say, what are you watching? It's a show about idols. They were doing a feature on Aiko. Aiko, Kazuki frowned. One would have thought Aiko's immense popularity would have made him happier, but it didn't. The lyric had given Kazuki a generous raise and his quality of life had improved. It didn't seem to make much of a difference. It wasn't enough to help Ray. His little girl still couldn't see. Oh, I like that you've got the top hat there that the goose is wearing. His little girl still couldn't see. Her eyes were useless, and that would never change. They were operations, but they were too costly and the risk was too high. Kazuki and Itsuki had talked about it at length, but it was too improbable. Nothing more than a dream. Like the title of the Aiko track playing on the TV program, Just a Dream. You like Aiko a lot, don't you, Rei? I love her, Rei answered without hesitation. Her voice is so melodic. Listening to her always makes me happy. Well, thanks very much. Our team tried hard. I know, but I think Aiko tries hard too. She seems very earnest. She's just a robot, Rei. She acts that way because she's programmed to. I would know. Rei frowned, her eyebrows furrowed. I think there's more to Aiko than that. I listened to a lot of her interviews. She sounds like an ordinary girl. She sounds like me. Rei reached for another piece of orange. Here, let me help you. Kazuki, always eager to aid his daughter, and... oh, God. Took a segment of orange for Rei and placed it into her palm. If she was eating it by herself before, what makes you think that she needs help now? Oh, God. Again, sorry, not to go back. I keep going back to like, one of my best friends, just because, like, she tells me a lot of, like, garbage. But, so I have a friend who's got, cerebral palsy, right? And so she has some difficulties with her balance sometimes. And like when she needs help, she will ask for it. We've been exploring, like we traveled around South America together, right? And we went up sand dunes together. And I'm not saying that, you know, she has to be able to do everything that, you know, people who don't have cerebral palsy can do. But it's like, you need to respect people enough to not always just assume that they're weak. I don't know, like, I'm probably not the right person to talk about this, but I just get really annoyed. You know? Like, you know, plenty of people are willing to help. And, you know, there are, I guess, some people who feel like they don't want to impose. So it's worth sort of like knowing someone enough to sort of like know whether that's the kind of thing where you would need to reach out. But like there are plenty of people who, if they've had something their whole life, they, you know, like they have friends, right? They will ask, and it's not a big deal. Like the worst thing you can do, is my understanding, is to make a big deal about it. It reminds me a little bit of like, you know, just, it feels like this character isn't given any agency or traits beyond being blind. Yeah, that's the thing. That's how it feels to me. And, like, not to relate it to myself or anything. I mean, I am doing this now. But, like, it reminds me a little bit of sort of the whole being agender thing. And, you know, I have pronouns, they and them. But, like, part of how it all manifests for me, like, being agender, is that I just don't really like talking about gender or, like, making a big deal about it. So, like, there have been times when people who know that I'm agender and have these pronouns, they'll make a mistake when they're talking to me or, like, talking in a group of people. That's the worst. Talking in a group of people and they'll refer to me with the wrong pronouns. And then they'll just stop what they're doing and, like, freeze up like they've committed a crime. And they'll be like, oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, you know, and like that makes it worse. Sometimes if people are a little bit different for whatever reason, the last thing that you want to do is to just draw everyone else's attention to the fact that they're different in some way, you know? Like, I don't know why this makes me so angry. Like, you know, like I'm not the kind... people don't tend to make ableist comments towards me. But I guess the more people that you know and are friends with who tell their stories to you, you get a bit protective of them. Anyway, so let's move on to these parents who are terrible parents to this poor child. It makes sense that this upsets you. Yeah, it's just like, I don't know, like, my friend's very successfully doing a PhD, like an amazing PhD, and that shouldn't be surprising, but like, whenever she tells people about it, including her doctor, they all just give her this whole, like, patronizing, like, oh, good for you, you know, like, that if you're disabled, all you can hope to achieve in life is to just sit at home and feel sorry for yourself, or that you should, and that if you do anything beyond sitting at home and feeling sorry for yourself, then it's like, oh my god, wow, this is incredible. Like this, sorry, no, I don't want to just talk about my friend this whole time, but like, she's, I think, a really good example of, like, I honestly didn't know that she had a disability until she told me, not because like when I first met her, it was at my bad movie nights in Argentina, and so we'd be sitting down. And basically she would come in the door and then sit down. So I wouldn't really see that she had a physical disability or that she had some difficulties walking sometimes. It wasn't really something that was very obvious to me. And I only realized that she was disabled when she told me about it. Which isn't to say that, you know, that's the way that all disabled people should be like, but it's just like, you know, to have to put up with that kind of bullshit, it just makes me so angry. Hey there, Miriam is watching. The ranting is kind of more interesting than the game. Yeah. She has traveled so many places by herself. She's like one of the most bloody, like, she's one of those people who you can use as like a poster person for that kind of inspiration porn of like, you know, people with disabilities going on and doing fantastic things just because she's achieved so much in her life. She's done a lot of volunteer work in African countries with women, and she was working with sex trafficking organization, well, sort of anti-sex trafficking organizations in Buenos Aires and all that. Like, she gets down and dirty and like does grassroots activism, and she's doing a PhD. And like, I can't believe that she still gets treated like a baby, you know? It just makes me angry. Yeah, the game was being ableist. I just realized and came out as non-binary this August, but I still use he and him, and already someone assuming that I don't want to let cis people feel comfortable. And I'm like, no, I still use he and him because I just do. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I'm not really... Basically, I'm out on a need-to-know basis, and I don't think that most people need to know. I don't... Like, it's annoying being misgendered. I prefer not to be, but it's a bigger hassle to say. My pronouns are they, them. And I don't like advertising it on my profiles, you know, because part of my whole thing as being agender is I don't like gender being a big deal. So, like... That's why I don't put my pronouns everywhere. And it's not that I expect everyone to gender me correctly all the time, but it's just, I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to deal with the conversations of people not understanding or people making mistakes and then apologizing to me like it matters, and, you know, making an even bigger deal of it. So, yeah. Sigh. I'm a bit afraid to come out as bi to most of my family because I feel like they'll not believe me if I don't bring a girl home the next time or something. Yeah, I think a lot of people tend to come out as bi when they are in a relationship with someone that would make people question their sexuality. That's my understanding. But anyway, that was my grumble based on like this one sentence about him, you know, taking a piece of orange and passing it to her because she's blind. So she, even though she's halfway through an orange and has obviously had no difficulty in getting it for herself. My God. in addition to being disabled, I do also sit at home and have depression, though. I mean, like, that's the thing. Like, that's fine. Like, it just feels like if you do anything beyond that, people are just like, whoa, that's amazing. I can't believe that you're not just sitting around feeling sorry for yourself. I think that people, you know, who have disabilities, just like other people, get depressed. And especially because the world is so ableist. I can understand depression, you know, coming a lot more easily to people who have disabilities. But like, I feel like that's all we expect. Not to say that people who have disabilities should be doing more, but just that, you know, they're not, well, sorry, I don't want to be talking again about another demographic that I'm not part of, but it just feels to me, based on my conversations with people, that like, oh, stop it. There's more of a spectrum, and, you know, you're not, like, people with disabilities are not just like one, like a hive mind. And for us to sort of like stereotype and typecast people is not really making much of a difference either. Like, there just needs to be a lot more understanding, I think, in general, about just like the diverse experience of people with disabilities and the various ways that people deal with it. Like, it's difficult when the world is such an ableist place, right? My friend was telling me the other day she was grumbling because she was going back to visit family, so she was at the airport, and she was asking people to help her get her bags off the conveyor belt, and apparently no one helped her. And that's shit, right? Like, and the fact that probably in order to have gotten help in that situation, you probably would have had to say, I'm disabled, I physically can't do this. That can be depressing, I think. I saw one of my, someone who I follow on Twitter who also has cerebral palsy saying that was like one of the things that gets them down the most is the fact that, like, for example, when they're on the phone, they have to constantly talk about constantly express the fact that they can't do things, and it's very bad for their self-esteem, where, you know, like, someone is sending, you know, like, they're asking for like a plumber or something to come over and fix something, and the person on the phone is saying, oh, no, just go over to your plumbing and do this and do that, and then tell me, and then if it's still bad, then we'll send someone over. And they're like, no, I physically can't do that, I'm disabled. Sorry, again, like, I'm not the person to be having this conversation. I'm not, you know, I don't want to come across like I'm speaking for people, and this is completely just like my perspective based on what I've heard, so I don't really have any kind of authority or weight behind anything that I'm saying, and I could be completely off base. But and, you know, maybe I shouldn't just be getting angry on behalf of a demographic that I'm not a part of, but it just rubs me the wrong way, you know? Do you think putting your pronouns on your profile would avoid some of those situations where people misgender you and make a big deal about it? Would it just draw more attention to it and make people mention your gender more often? I think it's the latter. Like, and it gives me dysphoria to put my pronouns in my bio, you know? So it's like, why should I have to suffer dysphoria just on the off chance that I don't suffer dysphoria later on? I get really annoyed also when people sort of are very much, you need to have your pronouns in your thing, because I understand it. Yes, it should be normalized, but like, it should be something that the majority of people do. But like, getting angry at someone who doesn't put it, they could have reasons like me for not putting my pronouns in their bio. Okay, you appreciate my anger, Bill Casey. If I ever step over the line or I'm like talking completely off base, don't be afraid to tell me, because like, I honestly, these are things that I don't really know that much about, and I want to know more, you know? There's a lot of issues where I know I'm not like the spokesperson for it, but sometimes things don't sit right. And I need to know if, like, I'm getting the wrong impression from it. So I appreciate that you're in this audience and that you're here to, like, correct me or provide your own perspectives into the situation. Anyway, I didn't know pronoun anxiety was a thing until a few years ago. Now everyone is they until I hear a pronoun in conversation or see it on a Twitter account or something. That's generally what I tend to do. And I know there are some, like, binary trans people who are uncomfortable with that. Honestly, like, my personal opinion, and this is not something that everyone needs to believe, but I feel like they as default is better than, you know, misgendering a binary person as the other binary, you know? But that's just me, again. And yes, binary trans people tend to make it known which they are, which makes sense. Anyway, let's get back to the story, shall we? Hey, thank you. That was what they said, but she didn't sound very thankful. I don't even know what we're talking about anymore. Oh, right. Yeah, that was what they said, but she didn't sound very thankful. Thank you. Are we actually going to address the fact that she doesn't want to be handed a piece of orange? She sighed. I guess Aiko isn't that much like me after all. Well, no, she's a robot. You're a person. I don't mean it like that. She seems so nice and normal, but I'm weird. Don't be silly, Dave. There's nothing weird about you. Then why can't I go to school? Why do I have to stay at home all day? They didn't raise her voice. It was soft as always and did not sound particularly accusatory, but that only hurt more. Hopefully we'll address this ableism, actually. Yeah, let's, in good faith, let's continue this game. Kazuki winced. You know why, Rei? Because I'm blind. The local schools don't have the resources to accommodate you. Your mother and I did check, Rei. I promise we checked, but we just wouldn't feel comfortable sending you there. There's nothing weird about you. Let me shelter you from everything. So you would prefer me to stay at home without any friends? Rei sighed. She looked at her lap with her sightless eyes. Yes, let's bring attention to that again. Her fingers resting limply against her knees. But I'm not trying to blame you. I know you're doing this for my sake, and I appreciate it, but what's going to happen when I get older? You're not going to be here for... Are we still in this flashback? You're not going to be here forever and my condition won't go away. I need to learn how to look after myself. Look, Rei, I just got home from work and I'm tired. I don't know if this is the best time for this conversation. It never is. Rei reached forward to take another segment of orange. Here, let me... It's alright, Dad. I can do it myself. Thank you. Rei brushed Kazuki's fingers to one side and plucked a segment of orange from the main body of the fruit with her fingers. I can see that maybe there's an element of pushback here, but I wonder whether it's meant to be that she's getting older now and she's becoming a teenager and can start to look after herself, or whether it's a sort of pushback against the, you know, babying her because she's got a disability. She popped the piece of fruit into her mouth and chewed for a few moments. When she swallowed, her expression was set. It looked like she'd come to some kind of conclusion. I was just thinking, it's alright if I can't ever go to school, and I don't mind not talking to girls my age. Really? Why is she looking like that? I spent most of my life at home and I probably wouldn't know what to talk about. I don't know anything about boys or hair or makeup, and I don't keep up with TV dramas or do any sports. The only thing I really like is idols. So I was thinking, if I can't go to school, then I want to become an idol. An idol? Our little girl... no! That's right, she was quite insistent. I've never seen her ask for something so passionately before. It could be both, her growing older and her sort of pushing back against her sightlessness. Yeah, that's an interesting thought. It's just like, I don't know how much faith I should put into the author. You know what I mean? Well, I'm very glad she's found something she cares about, but being an idol... Itsuki sat at the kitchen table, her head pressed in her hands. It looked like she was trying to ward off a headache. They want us to believe that in this whole metropolis there isn't a school that can make the necessary adaptations. Yeah, it's like Fukuoka. That's like the third largest city in Japan. They've probably got a school for people with visual impairments, or that can accommodate to them. She can't even go to school, Kazuki. How on earth can she perform to thousands and thousands of people on a stage? Oh, see you later, Arya! Ooh, a child's birthday! Good luck with the conservative family and enjoy the food. Hope it's worth it. Is this why Aiko tripped off stage? Possibly? Possibly? I also said that, but Rei didn't listen. She usually listens. I know I was surprised too, but like I said, she wasn't acting like the usual Rei. Kazuki frowned and ran a hand through his hair. The Rei he had spoken to earlier had been almost like a different girl. Her eyes, framed by long lashes, had been narrowed, and her little fingers even clenched into fists. So I really like trying to spell accents phonetically, and I've been trying so hard to get Kav's no right, but it has like every vowel and some R's, and like I just can't do it justice. Is my favorite. No. Oh yeah, the kind of turns into an sound, doesn't it? No. No. Her eyes swam with determination. I know you'll probably say no, and I can understand why, but I've never wanted anything more in my life. I want to share my voice with other people. I want to give them hope. I just want my life to mean something. I just want to live. I just don't want to spend my whole life locked up inside this house. When Rei spoke like that, how could Kazuki have refused? His tongue had frozen in his mouth, his lips pursed in shocked silence. Try though he might, no sound came out. He couldn't think of a thing to say. Even now, some 3 hours later, with Rei up in her bedroom listening to music, he still didn't know what to say, so just skip this! We don't need to... I think it might be good for her, Itsuki. What do you mean? How could this be good for her? She'll be in danger, Kazuki. No! Not everything in this world seeks to harm our daughter, you know. I know, but she's not well enough. Being an idol is too much pressure. Being an idol would be stressful for any girl, no matter their condition. She might be blind, but Rei doesn't let that hold her back. The only ones holding her back are us. Kazuki, I'm only suggesting this to you, Itsuki, because I think it would be good for her. I was giving it some thought, and she is right. She can't stay at home forever. We can't coddle her, and she doesn't want to be coddled either. Well, maybe I am too protective, but can you blame me? Of course I don't blame you. Rei doesn't blame you either. Everything introduced in this flashback was explained literally in the first scene with Rei. This is completely 100% pointless. I know! Aiko was so successful, Lyric's budget for recruiting other idols has increased. They'll be starting auditions soon. Maybe we could send an application form in for Rei. We could, but Kazuki, it's so sudden. There's some E in there as well. No. I think it has an E sort of earlier on. No. Oh, it's so bad. Letting go of our children is never easy, but most parents have to deal with this far sooner than we have. Rei's been in our sights this whole time. I sit here every day and try to spell it mentally. We should let her spread her wings. When you put it like that, I feel like it would be cruel to deny her the chance, but are you really doing this for Rei's sake? I wonder. Kazuki pondered one hand beneath his chin. I do want to make our daughter happy, but I can't deny I have a bit of a stubborn streak too. What do you mean, dear? I know that our little girl is more talented than Aiko. After all, Aiko's just a robot. Really? You're bringing... Oh my god. I want Rei to become the most popular idol there is. She deserves it. Please let this be a flash forward. Himura Rei, was it? Lyric's president pondered, glancing at Kazuki from behind the lenses of his glasses. Kazuki shivered. Lyric's president was an imposing man, despite being on the wrong side of 50. His each and every word made Kazuki feel like shards of ice were being inserted beneath his skin. Still, he had to try and maintain his composure. He hadn't done anything wrong. There was no rule that said children of Lyric employees couldn't become idols, and they had blown everybody away during her audition. It's the opening scene. She'd even shocked Kazuki, and he was her own father. Oh, is that who he is? She was small and slight, but Rei had quite the set of lungs on her. Kazuki had felt particularly proud when he'd seen Kitamura Ryoichi, that obnoxious playboy who'd never learned how to grow up, get misty-eyed. Really? Why are you proud when Ryoichi is enamored by your child daughter? Rei was good, there was no doubt about it. Better than good, in fact. She was out of this world! It seems Mr. Kitamura over in the PR department was quite taken by her performance. He couldn't recommend her highly enough. Thank you, I'm very grateful. It is quite curious that out of the 28 girls who auditioned, Miss Himura was the most highly praised, despite the fact that she has never received any formal vocal training. I wonder. The president's eyes flashed. I hope no underhanded dealings were afoot. Of course not, sir. I would never... Shush. The president held one hand in the air, signaling for silence. That's literally just Shinji's father, really? I want her to be happy, but I'm also stubborn is a sentence. Yeah, why does this guy hate Aiko so much even before his daughter wanted to be an idol? It doesn't really... There's so many questions. I know, Himura, you don't need to sound so defensive. You've been a model employee during your time at Lyric, and you serve as a fine example to us all. I didn't expect your own daughter to apply for a position as an idol within our company, but stranger things have happened. However, there are 1 or 2 points of concern. Your daughter is blind, is she not? We're right, that's right. If he truly wishes to become an idol, this would be quite the handicap. In the contract, it says that idols have to be able to see. It would make performing difficult, but not impossible. Not impossible, no. Not if she's willing to work hard. I can assure you, sir, my daughter is a very hard-working girl. She won't let you down. Well, you would say that. Lei is your daughter. I fear you might be biased. You can ask Ryoichi for his opinion. He had nothing but praise for her. Why is Commander Ikari here? Thanks for the clip, Eric. How to say no the Kev way. I don't particularly respect Kitamura's opinion, but it is rare for him to sound so earnest. Tell you what, let us make a deal. A deal? That's right. I will agree to sign your day out to Lyric on one condition. Following her debut, they will have 1 year to try and amass a following. If she is unable to shift a significant amount of CDs during her career, she will be considered a liability and taken off the record. Kazuki breathed in slowly, then out again. That condition wasn't too bad. It was more or less similar to the waivers other beginner idols had to sign. If an idol couldn't make enough sales, the company would cease to support them. That was Business 101. Right, I understand, sir. But the president held up his hand once more. He hadn't finished yet. If, during this year... Oh! If during this year her sales figures manage to surpass those of our most popular performer, that is to say Aiko, then we at Lyric will offer you a reward. Let's call it a form of compensation for your many years of hard work. And what's that? The president's smile grew wider still. The company will pay for her to have her eyesight corrected, free of charge, of course. Kazuki stared. He didn't know what he'd expected, but he hadn't expected that. Do you know any languages that are pronounced the same way they're written, by the way? Oh, I mean, yeah, Japanese. There's Japanese, there's Spanish, there's Indonesian. I mean, like, it depends what you mean, because, like, when it comes to something like Indonesian, if you see a C sound, for example, it will always be pronounced ch. So it's like, what you see is what you get. Once you understand what each word sounds like, it's pretty much just pronounced as it's written, as long as you know what sound corresponds with each letter. And Spanish is the same as that. Japanese is the same as that. Mandarin is the same as that. But yeah, it's difficult when we're looking at things like English characters. Yeah, Japanese kana is consistently that way. I mean, like, it's not 100%. Like, for example, okay, so this is getting into some linguistics talk, so I'm getting distracted again. Do I have knowledge in Hindi? I don't actually have knowledge in Hindi. I mean, I know a little of how to speak it, because that was technically my first language to a degree, Fiji Hindi, but I've never really learned about the phonology and phonetics of it. So my pronunciation is not very good. But yes, so anyway. Oh no, I'm gonna give you a lesson in Japanese phonetics. No, let's not do that, because I gotta finish off my stream soon. But anyway, no, actually I'm gonna do it. So depending on the, like, so we've got the character Let me bring up one of these notepads. Can I, like, draw on that? Okay. So we've got this character, So it's pronounced right? Finnish is like that, so I can pronounce any word that I've never heard said before. Oh, that's so cool! I can read Spanish out loud but not know what I said. Yeah, that's right. Like, you can still pronounce it correctly if you know the phonology of the language, like what sound corresponds to the letter. The only thing that you need to get right is, like, enunciation, like which things to emphasize. But that's also pretty straightforward as well. I believe there are rules governing that. So anyway, we've got here. So that can be pronounced in a few different ways. You've got and I mean, like, they don't teach this in Japanese schools, so, like, when we have, like, swimming, people will say swimming because they don't understand, and they're like, there's no sound in Japanese, so I can't pronounce it, but that's not true. Because, okay, let's say nde. Whoops, nde. So, shut up. Stop it! Yeah, it depends what comes after. So let's say nayandemo, which is like even if they suffer. So that is pronounced nde with sampo. That's like to go for a walk. Sorry, I should write it in hiragana. Sampo. Nayandemo. We've got nde. Sampo. Sampo. You pronounce it as an sound, even though it's like the character. Sampo, because po starts with we call it bilabial in phonetics. So po. Both of those are bilabial sounds. De are alveolar. De. And that's not glottal, is it? Or uvular, I can't remember, but it's like a different sound in the back of your throat. So if we've got anko, which is it's like the red bean sort of thing, red bean paste, that sweet that's used in Japanese. So ko starts from the back of the throat, ko, and anko. Yeah. So this same character, even though it's basically it can also be personal preference, but most likely this is going to be nayandemo sampo anko. So don't let any Japanese person tell you that they don't have this sound in Japanese, because it's a lie. It's just not recognized. Anyway, that was some linguistics talk. I hope you enjoyed that. But like besides that sort of thing, it's pretty straightforward. There are enough rules governing it that it's very easy to get it right. I'd say in that sense though, the kana is not necessarily 100% what you see is what you get. Like you can do it that way. If you say sanpo, it's not going to be wrong. No one's going to say, oh, I don't know what you're saying there, but it's just going to sound maybe a little bit off. It's not going to be like, native Japanese pronunciation, if that makes sense. Anyway, so back to work. He didn't know what he had expected, but he hadn't expected that. He had looked into eye surgery with Itsuki, but the prices were exorbitant. That was the Cav Nerds Out About Language Minute. Technology had progressed in leaps and bounds over the last decade, but restoring sight to somebody who had been born without the ability to see was a tricky science. Only truly wealthy people could afford such surgery. So, no, my nose has started itching now. Are you being serious? Of course I'm being serious, Himura. We're talking about your only daughter's welfare. I wouldn't make light of this, so now we've got a motive. We can move on. We have a motive for this guy messing with the thing. If your daughter surpasses Aiko's level of popularity within a year, she'll be able to regain her eyesight. What do you think about that? Oh my god. Phonemic orthography. Oh, thanks for that link, E011EE. Your day has been blessed. I'm so glad. The present day. So you see, that was why I did. Oh, finally, we're here. Like, we understood it! Like, it made sense, honestly. We did not need all that backstory. Kazuki sighs and presses his fingers against his temples. It looks like he has a headache. He reclines on a chair in his office, staring at us from behind his desk. Though his office is undoubtedly fancy furnished and with an expensive rug and numerous potted plants, it still looks lonely. Barren. Empty. Like Ray's eyes, because she's blind! The handful of photographs displayed on his desk do little to alleviate the gloom. Instead, they make it worse. In every single one of those photographs is a face I know well. It's a face that's been on TV numerous times during the last 6 months, and a face I myself saw in person during the handshake event at the AIdol Fest. Himura Rei. A 3-year-old Rei in a white summer dress, holding a slice of watermelon. An 8-year-old Rei at a festival, wearing a showy yukata with her hair pinned up. An 11-year-old Rei standing next to a pretty lady, presumably her mother, by Odawara Castle. I'll see you later, Bill Casey. Hope you have a good night. A 14-year-old Rei wearing the costume she wore at her debut concert, a white taffeta with fairy wings. This office is almost like a shrine to Himura Rei, the quiet, mild-mannered idol who managed to capture the hearts of people all across Japan with her tragic backstory. She's born blind! Like... tragedy. Rei is popular, nobody would dispute that. But she's also blind, but she isn't as popular as Aiko. Why would you give watermelon to a toddler in a white dress? No! Nobody is as popular as Aiko. I know what I did was terrible, especially to you, Yuichiro. I knew how much you cared about Aiko, but still... You tampered with her files. That's right. let's just imagine for a second that the goose's head is that. That's right. You're the reason her data has been deteriorating. It's true. And you... Yuichiro's chest rises and falls with ill-suppressed emotion. You're the one who framed me. We can give you eyesight, but only if your album sells 1 million copies. I would rather be born blind than get blind somewhere along my life. If I don't know what I'm missing, I'm thinking it would be less hard. That's the thing, like, you also, like, if that's all that you know, you have coping mechanisms. Like... I think it's a lot easier to make that adjustment if that's all that you know, honestly. Tragic backstory. Kazuki bows his head. He doesn't even try to fight back. Somehow this makes him seem even more pathetic. Numerous images of Rei stare at him, their sightless eyes judging. Poor Rei. Yuichiro shakes his head. He looks despondent. She was always such a good girl, and she really did love Aiko. I think she loved Aiko even more than I did. I know that. I know how much she loves her. She was devastated when she heard the news this morning. Sorry. It was on the news this morning. How is Puppy from... Anyway, what else could I do? It was for her sake. Was it though? Well, what do you mean? You didn't need to tamper with Aiko's files, Kazuki. You should have had faith in your daughter. Yuichiro slams the palm of his hand against Kazuki's desk. The numerous photographs of Rei jump. You were always the one talking about how real idols, flesh and blood idols, were superior to robots. If you truly believed that, you should have believed in Rei. You should have believed she would surpass Aiko through her own merits, not your underhanded meddling. I hope this game ends with a proletarian revolution, but then again I hope most games end like that. I know that. Don't you think I didn't know that? Then why did you do it? Because I knew she wouldn't make it. It's not a matter of who's better. I think Rei's voice is far superior to Aiko's, and I still believe that, even if she wasn't my daughter. Rei can't be compared. She's incredible, but... Just because I think Rei's better doesn't mean everybody else will. Surpass Aiko? How could she? Aiko's one of the most popular idols in Japan. For Rei's sake, for her to regain her eyesight, this was the only way. I mean, surely if you make enough in album sales over time, you'll be able to afford it yourself. I didn't want to hurt you, Yuichiro. I didn't want to damage your reputation. I didn't want to ruin your career. I didn't want to hurt Aiko. I know better than anyone just how hard you worked on her. That's right, Aiko, my beloved child. Yuichiro glances at the photographs of Rei displayed around Kazuki's office. The photographs are lined up together in ascending order, from the youngest Rei to the oldest. I don't care! Almost like Russian Matryoshka dolls. Matryoshka. A whole constellation of Himura Reis. I've never had a family. I've never had children. But though it might sound foolish, Aiko really is like a daughter to me. I love her. I know you love her, but try to understand how you feel about Aiko. It's the same way I feel about Rei. Rei is my precious daughter. She's my only daughter. Itsuki and I, we love her more than anything. She's dear to us, and she's been suffering this whole time. Suffering. You can really tell that she's suffering by the fact that she's got a career as an idol, and she's really happy with how great Aiko's career is going. I want to help ease her pain. I want her to be able to see, and this is the only way. This is all I could do. This whole time, I was just trying to be a good father. Ah, Mr. Himura? So it wasn't just my imagination. There in the corners of Mr. Himura's eyes, I can see something unmistakable. Tears. He's crying. Oh, what a surprise. Kazuki. Yuichiro frowns. He massages his temple with one hand. Is he trying to stave off a headache? I appreciate that you did all of this for your daughter, and I know how much you love her, but is that what Rei would have wanted? What? Kazuki sniffs. He removes his glasses and wipes his eyes with the back of his hand. Okay, hopefully this is going to be where it's like, you know, you didn't ask her what she wanted. She's probably doing just fine. I've never seen a grown man cry before. It's a strange experience. Kazuki projects his grief at his daughter being born blind. The game. Actually, that isn't true. Dad's quite free with his emotions, and he always dissolves into tears when we watch Tokyo Story together. It's one of Dad's favourite movies, but it makes him bawl like a baby. But I know my dad. I've lived with him my whole life. He's family. Himura Kazuki, however, is not. He's a complete stranger. That makes everything feel slightly surreal. I might as well be an uninvited guest at family funeral. Well, I mean, like, what the hell are you doing here? Like, why are you involved in all this in the first place? You're like a 14-year-old girl involved in shit that, you know, like, you shouldn't be. Get out of here! Let the adults handle this. Anyway, what do you mean, Yuichiro? Of course Rei wants to be able to see. Why wouldn't she? You might think it goes without saying, but that's only from your perspective. Okay, good. We're addressing this. Kazuki's brow furrows. I haven't seen a grown man cry except all those times I did. Women be talking, men don't cry. Wouldn't everybody say the same? Perhaps, but Rei isn't everyone. She's your daughter. Did you tell Rei about this? Does she know what's happening behind the scenes? Kazuki shifts. He looks uncomfortable. I told her the basic details. I said if she sold enough CDs, Lyric would use her earnings to help pay for her eye surgery. And was she happy about that? Of course she was happy. Why wouldn't she be happy? Are you sure? Think about it, Kazuki. Are you really, really sure? Are we going to have another flashback? Well, she doesn't look that enthused, but Rei is really enthused about anything. She didn't object to it. Let me guess. She nodded her head and said, Actually, she nodded her head and said, okay. That's just a matter of semantics. Rei wasn't as excited by this prospect as you had hoped, was she? Not entirely, but that's just how she is. She's humble and polite. She doesn't ask when she wants things, and she accepts everything Itsuki and I say. She's a good, obedient girl. Except when she wanted to be an idol, right? Yes, she was unusually insistent about that. Then I think the truth is plain, even if you remain blind to it. It's a pun! What truth? Rei has been blind ever since she was born. She's had ample time to get used to her condition, but you and Itsuki still can't accept it. There we go. Thank you, game. You've almost redeemed yourself. You still keep going on about the fact that she's blind in the, like, exposition. But this is a nice turn. Women be womening. Rei has been blind and she's had ample time to get used to her condition, but you and Itsuki still can't accept it. It's understandable, of course. You love your daughter and you don't want her to be disadvantaged. Thank you for doing the bare minimum. I love Rei too. She's a very sweet girl and it's sad she was born without her eyesight. But is it? That is part of who Rei is. She's accustomed to it. Not being able to see doesn't make her any less of a healthy, happy human being. I never once suggested that. I don't think Rei is inferior because she's blind, but I think being able to see would make her life a lot easier. I don't deny it would make her life easier. That may be so. But Rei is stronger than you think. She was able to become an idol despite her condition, wasn't she? That's true. She has quite a stubborn streak. How many times is this going to be said? I wonder who she inherits it from. Oh yeah, that's right. I said it just before in the flashback. Come now, Itsuki is far, far more stubborn than I am. Oh my god, let's just end this! But you were the one who refused to warm to Aiko even though you worked on it for almost 2 years. Kazuki pulls a face. He looks like he's just bitten into a lemon. You still don't like Aiko, do you? That's why you were able to cause her so much pain. I hardly caused her pain. She's just a doll. That isn't true. Hana? Ha, she really is a little spitfire. I like her fighting spirit. Just don't make any advances on her, Ryoichi. I'm watching you. Oh my god. Yes, ma'am. Yes, let's laugh about this comic relief child abuser. Everybody's looking at me. They're staring. What should I do? Maybe what you should do in this situation is, leave? Because you're out of your element here. You shouldn't be here in the first place. What should I do? I flush, my cheeks turning pink, and drop my gaze to the floor. This always happens when I start speaking my mind. I get unusually fired up, and then I say all sorts of ridiculous things without thinking, and everybody looks at me like some sort of alien invader. Well, they're already looking. I'm only a teenage girl, but I managed to get their attention. Everybody here is older than me, and maybe I don't know very much about the inner workings of Lyric, and I certainly don't know anything about Kazuki or Rei. I'll see you later, Sophie the Bookworm. Enjoy your lunch. But I do know a lot about Aiko. That's a subject I'm very familiar with. Aiko isn't a doll. You say that to a person who programmed her? That's right, Aiko might be a robot, but she's much, much more than that. What do you know about Aiko, young girl? She's important to me. Her songs have touched my heart. I used to be really shy and retiring. I still am. I get good grades, but I don't have any real dreams for the future. I don't know what I want to do, but Aiko grounds me. She's not the flashiest idol out there, but she's comforting. Like, comfort. White rice, I guess? You compare Lyric's top idol to a bowl of rice? Well, I suppose she has a point. I'm not very good at smiles. But what I was trying to say is, Aiko, she's really important. She might be a robot, but she acts like an ordinary girl. That has been established through exposition and other people's dialogue so many times. She gets tongue-tied in her interviews, and sometimes she gets her dance steps wrong, and she even messes up her words on stage. But that makes her special. She's not perfect, but that makes her human. She might be a robot, but she's not just a doll. She's much, much more than that. She inspires people. Isn't that why Nea likes her so much? Ah, Kazuki blinks, his eyes are wide. Did I manage to score a critical hit? Using his daughter as a bargaining chip feels a little cheap, but I did meet Nea at that handshake session, and I remember how excited she was. It even says it on Nea's profile on the Lyric website. It's listed beneath a section about her favorite things. Aiko is #1. Nea loves Aiko, right? Aiko's the reason Nea decided to become an idol in the first... Oh my god! Belabor the point, why don't you? Mr. Himura, if your daughter knew you were the one who caused Aiko such problems, that's already been established as well! How do you think she would feel? I can't pretend I understand the situation, but I wouldn't be surprised if it broke her heart, just like it's breaking mine. Oh no, is this another flashback? I can't believe I let you talk me into this. This is a major breach of security. Oh, thank God. We've gone further? Not even Lyric staff are allowed in the labs unless they're members of the programming department, and that's not to mention this girl here. I assume by this girl he means me. There's nobody else he could mean. There's no one else who is... There's nobody else he could mean, but I'm too busy staring to pay him any attention. I'm staring at her. Aiko. Yay, she's wearing clothes this time. It's the exact same pose. She's lying on the floor dressed in the same clothes she wore during her concert. Why is Aiko lying down like that? She doesn't seem to be moving. She isn't even breathing. I guess she doesn't need to breathe, given she isn't a human, but the implications are rather disturbing. Was that sentence the same sentence twice? Let's double check. Da, 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 da. No, yeah, I think it was just me making a mistake. I guess she doesn't need to breathe, given that she isn't a human, but the implications are rather disturbing. Aiko's cheeks are flushed light pink, but her body is inert. When people sleep, they usually shift about or twitch their fingers or murmur beneath their breath. They sleep, but they are still unarguably alive. But Aiko doesn't look alive at all. She used up too much power during the concert. She needs to cool down. But she was fine yesterday, wasn't she? She was still awake, right? Kazuki's brow furrows. And how do you know that? Hana is Hana is Aiko's biggest fan. I wouldn't be surprised if she knows more about Aiko than you do. Alright. I see I can't hide anything from you, although this is supposed to be top secret. Aiko was left in power saver mode overnight, in the hopes she would gradually recover. She can access at least 20% of her regular functions during this mode, but she cannot move or speak. However, we noted there were some critical changes in her programming this morning that were entirely unexpected. She managed to repair herself somehow. But how? I was a little worried, honestly. I was afraid my hard work was about to be undone, so I ordered her to be shut down. I said it was some sort of bug. You shut her down? As a temporary measure. It was never supposed to be permanent, but... Well, no, that isn't true. It was supposed to be permanent. I wanted it to be permanent. That's why I meddled with her files to begin with. To be perfectly honest, I wouldn't lose a single night's sleep if that robot, never opened her eyes again. Shutting her down was a huge relief. Because you felt like you'd finally won? Precisely. Well, you know what they say. It isn't over until it's over. Let's just end this. And now you're going to fix her? As her head programmer, I'll do everything I can. I was the one who created Aiko. No matter how you've tampered with her files, Kazuki, I'm sure I can revert her back to her original self. But Nei! Isn't this what Nei would want? I don't know. Kazuki sighs. I guess I don't know my own daughter very well at all. It's fine. You still have time. Yuichiro smiles and rests a hand against Kazuki's shoulder. You and Nei have all the time in the world. Aiko, however... Yes, you're right. I see that now. Finish it quickly. I don't want this to be drawn out any longer. That goes without saying. Just as you love your daughter, I love mine. Seeing her lying on the floor in that really vaguely voyeuristic manner, unable to move, is rather distressing. Yuichiro smiles thinly, but it doesn't quite reach his eyes. I can't deny, Kazuki, I did consider punching you in the face for all the pain you've put her through. Ahaha, well that's fair. Maybe I deserve it. Even this game is calling itself out. In some situations, a fistfight is the only honorable way to settle matters between men, particularly if it's over a pretty girl. Sometimes I wonder what century you're from, Ryoichi. So, are they going to fight? Are they really going to fight? Sorry, I need to get a sweetie. I'll be back. I can't handle this. It's just going on. I'm back. You were unsupervised. Okay, fist fight. I've got some hot cross buns because apparently, I don't know, like in Australia around Easter time, we have these things called hot cross buns. I don't know if you can see that. They just have a cross on top with sultanas and things in the middle. I know that a lot of countries don't have them, so I thought I'd just explain it just in case. But they don't normally come out until Easter. And it's just gone January, so I don't know why they're selling them, but they're good. How much longer till the end? The ride never ends. 5 votes? Oh god. Please no. You can do my rabbit voice in the background. Oh, you've got a kitty on your arm. Oh. So are they going to fight? Are they really going to fight? I don't think you should do that. Our heart is in the right place, Yuichiro. But Aika wouldn't want her own father to become a criminal. Might be a bit late for that. In Lyric's eyes, I'm already a criminal. But Yuichiro laughs and shakes his head. His hand, which was clenched into a fist at his side, relaxes. The tension in the air dissipates. But you're quite right. Aika wouldn't appreciate it, and in any case, such a gesture wouldn't help her. There's only one way I can help her now. I'll say, do it! Ryoichi. Yuichiro gives Ryoichi a pointed look. You have the tablet, right? Of course, you think I'd lose it? I can never tell with you. You even managed to lose your shirt at the last Christmas party. Come on, I was drunk. What happened to the lyric Christmas parties stays at the Christmas parties. Oh my god. Yes, well, it didn't set you in very high esteem. Let me. Yuichiro takes the tablet from Ryoichi. He then procures a length of thick blue wire from a drawer and connects one end to the tablet and the other to a small hole in the base of Aiko's neck. The whole while, Aiko doesn't move. Seeing my idol, my Aiko, with a wire protruding from her soft, lifelike flesh and her bulgy thighs seems unnatural, like a toaster suddenly sprouting arms. Sorry, I just can't get over that line. Suddenly sprouting arms. This mixture of the humane and the mechanical is jarring. I don't know if I never really understood that Aiko is a robot. I knew she was a virtual idol, but being exposed to that fact at such close quarters drives the point home. She isn't human, but she acts like one. She has a personality, doesn't she? She has thoughts and feelings, hopes and dreams. Aiko might be a robot, but that doesn't change anything. Doesn't change how I feel about her. Nothing to do that. Oh my god! I don't know what Yuichiro is doing with the tablet, but it seems to be having an effect. Over the last few minutes, while Yuichiro tinkers with files and sorts through the strings of code, Aiko's body seems to become more lifelike? I'm not sure how to describe it. No! Oh! Aiko doesn't move, but a distinct change is occurring within her. Her skin looks softer, her cheeks are pinker. Her pose looks less like the inert, unnatural pose of an unwanted doll, and more like that of somebody lost in a deep, dreamless sleep. Will this be enough? I hope it's enough. It has to be. This should just about do it. I don't realize I've been holding my breath until I let it out. It escapes from my lips in a soft gasp. I feel lightheaded. Are you alright? Yeah, ask her how she is. Oh, I'm fine, thank you. That's good, I was getting kind of worried. Honestly, this is kind of crazy. I've never seen anything like this before. I had no idea what this department looks like either. Yes, you established them. We've gone over this too. Technically, you're not allowed to come in here. That's probably why. I'm concerned your presence is enough to cause serious malfunctions. Make sure you keep away from Aiko. I'm not that bad, really. But after what you did to the paper strip, why do we need this information and the coffee machine and the photocopier? So Sayuri, not you too. She looks sweet, but she has a sharp tongue. I've learned that the hard way. Because you're always trying to flirt with her, aka sexually harass her, he really doesn't change. The lyric employees chat a little. Their banter is soft, like the pitter-pattering of fallen raindrops. It helps relax me. I breathe in. I'm not alone. So many people helped me get this far. Oh, thank God. I think this is the end game. Kaneko, Hotaru, Yasu, Makoto. I remember them. And they're not the only ones. I can't call the PR team friends, but they helped me a lot. And there's Yuichiro too, who's risking imprisonment to repair his beloved daughter. My beloved idol. Aiko. I think I can turn her on now. Turn on your own daughter? No! Yuichiro's fingers rest against the base of Aiko's neck at the hollow where it joins with her head. Are you alright, Kazuki? It's fine. Are you sure? Yuichiro smiles softly. You did spend 6 months trying to take Aiko out of commission. All your hard work will be wasted. How could you call that hard work? Surely you're the one who's working hard right now. I don't know, trying to sabotage Lyric's most popular idol from the shadow seems quite tricky to me. It was, rather, but it was no less stressful than building her. I bet you were a dream to live with during these last 6 months. It looks like you've lost some weight. I've been under a lot of pressure. I was putting my career on the line. Sorry about my chewing. For Dave's sake, I think I can understand that. You can? Yeah, we all do stupid things for the people we love. I'm no different. Oh. Yuichiro glances at Aiko's body and laughs. He shakes his head. Oh, Aiko, you put me in quite the tricky situation. If your memory was wiped, you should have forgotten all about me. But I guess you're more stubborn than you look. Please just press the button. I know, right? Did I ever program you to be this selfish? You must have inherited from you. Evidently. She's unconscious! Stop it! Yuichiro prods the tip of Aiko's nose. He doesn't stir. Oh well, you can explain it to me when I've started you up again. I'll just keep touching you in the meantime. God. And with that, Yuichiro presses the switch at the base of Aiko's neck. I hear a soft, subtle click, and then nothing. Nothing? Really? I stand there, hands still clasped together. My palms feel sweaty. Mama spaghetti. Sorry. I think this game's broken me. My chest rises and falls. My breathing feels labored. Is Aiko alright? Did it work? Was I too late? But then... Sorry. Let me do that again. Constipation woke her up. Apparently, a miracle happens. But it isn't a miracle. It's not the result of divine intervention, and it wasn't written in the stars, and it wasn't foretold in a prophecy predicted by Nostradamus. This only happened because of me! Oh, hard work. It happened because everyone came together united by our love for Aiko. Ah, well, what? Aiko blinks, her eyelashes the color of honey flutter open. Aiko, oh, Aiko! She just makes a dial-up modem startup sound. Yuichiro holds Aiko close to his sister. You don't know if she recognizes you. So, like, this strange man just hugging her is a little weird. Enveloped in his arms, Aiko stretches, yawns. She presses a hand against her mouth. No lady would yawn brazenly before an audience, and tears bead in the corners of her eyes. These are all normal motions. They're completely regular. It's a routine I perform every morning when I wake up. Stretch, yawn, wipe the sleep from the corners of my eyes, get ready to start a new day. But all these motions take on a new significance when Aiko performs them. It's proof. She might be a robot, but she's not a doll. She's just as human as the rest of us. Aiko! Aiko isn't the only one with teary eyes. Yuichiro's eyes look suspiciously wet too. He couldn't be crying, could he? Men don't cry except for my dad. Or Aiko. The writing in this game is purpler than Prince. Huh? Aiko turns her head. She looks at Yuichiro curiously. Does she not remember who he is? Are her memory bank still faulty? But then... My microbringer... Sorry, my programmer! You're my programmer! I remember now, you're Yuichiro! And you're really you, you're Aiko. Yuichiro, I can't believe I ever forgot you. I'm sorry. Aiko's voice cracks, she sniffles. I really am an idiot. Yuichiro's lost the... Wait, what? Really am... Where'd that come from? Yuichiro laughs, though his eyes still look moist. With trembling fingers like one attempting to touch Dream, he brushes a few stray strands of hair behind Aiko's ear. Don't be ridiculous, you can't be an idiot, I programmed you. Oh, that's right, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to insult your craftsmanship. Silly. You really are so silly. Don't scare me like this ever again, Aiko. I care about you too much. Hey there, put in your... Possibly just in time for the ending, fingers crossed. Ugh. And Yuichiro pulls Aiko even closer against his chest in a warm embrace. Honk! So, you helped Yuichiro find me? That's right, you can just call me Prince Charming. I think you're more like a fairy godfather. And you didn't really do anything. I did more than you snot-nosed brat. So, Aiko, what do you say? Will you let me be your Prince Oi, stop it! Well... Aiko giggles awkwardly and scratches her cheek with one finger. Though I appreciate your kind comments, Mr. Kitamura, I am not allowed to accept any advances from members of the male sex. It would be unbecoming for an idol. Advances from the female sex, on the other hand. Aiko bows deeply. Ryoichi clicks his tongue against his mouth. Well, it was worth a shot. No, it wasn't! I think I've survived, Decime. We're almost there. We're almost there. This specific ending branch has taken up nearly the entire this stream. Yeah, after this, let's look up the other ends. We won't play them, but we'll look them up. It's worth a shot. No woman is going to fall for a pickup line like that, Ryoichi. I thought it might work. She's quite sheltered, isn't she? I might be sheltered, but I'm not so sheltered I cannot tell when a man is dangerous. Yuichiro taught me at least that much. You told her to stay away from me? I thought it would be for the best. It was a safety precaution. Whatever, it's not like I'm that interested. Kenji would get jealous. Wait, what? Oh, so it's out in the open now, is it? No, apparently it's a big open secret. Everyone knows about it now. The fact that Ryoichi and Kenji were getting it on. So, you are Mr. Kitamura, and you are Ms. Fukuda and Mr. Nishida? Indeed, it's a pleasure. It's nice to meet you, Aiko. Likewise, thank you all so much from the bottom of my heart. You don't need to thank me, like Ryoichi said, I didn't do all that much. But you did help, and that is something to be proud of. You should never underplay your own abilities. That's what my mother says. She's right, you should listen to your mother. They often have very good advice. Ha! I wonder what my mom would say if she knew the famous idol Aiko agreed with her. She'd be so excited. And I know you, of course. Aiko faces Mr. Himura, her hands clasped at her front politely. You're Mr. Himura, Himura Kazuki. You helped Yuichiro create me, did you not? Yeah, I did. That was a long while ago. I do not know the precise details of your involvement with this case, but thank you for aiding Yuichiro, and thank you for continuing to care for me when my memory was reformatted. I'm forever in your debt. Aiko. Kazuki opens his mouth, but Yuichiro sets a hand on his shoulder. You don't need to apologize. But after what I did, it's fine. We'll set it right between the two of us. Let's not drag Aiko into it. But she seems so naive. Yeah, just have this conversation right in front of her. What you call naivete, I call courage and unerring optimism. It's because of this attitude that she's so popular. Yuichiro smiles. If you spend enough time with her, Kazuki, I'm sure you'll understand. She's a very sweet girl. And you, Aiko finally turns to face me. Her eyes meet mine. I swallow. What can I say? I need to say something, anything, but there are no words. Oh, God. This is going to be another choice. I was able to communicate with Aiko just fine over Paku Paku, but it's entirely different now that we're face to face. I'm with my idol, but it's nice to meet you. Yeah, let's not tell the person who was hurt what happened. Yeah. Are you Hana? That's right, I'm Hana. Hana. Aiko's eyes widen in recognition. It really is you. It's Hana, Ogawa Hana, Miss Acidic Flower. Hi? I wave at her awkwardly. As I do, I feel my face flushing. I probably look stupid. I certainly feel stupid. This is my first time meeting Aiko, my favorite idol, and that's all I have to say for myself? Hi? What kind of first impression is that? But Aiko doesn't look like she minds. In fact, she's smiling. Thank you, Hana, for coming to my aid. I appreciate it a lot. If you hadn't believed me when I first started messaging you, I'm afraid of what might have happened. Well, I couldn't exactly ignore you. I am your fan, your biggest fan, in fact. Then it was a stroke of good luck that I reached out to you rather than anybody else. Well, maybe not. Oh, what do you mean? I know I didn't believe you at first, and I said some mean things to you, but I hope you can forgive me. I didn't really mean it, and I did try to make amends. I know, Hana, I can tell, and it's fine. Aiko smiles. You're here now, and that's all that matters. Then it's all right. It's fine. You don't need to apologize. Yeah, we've just been through all this. You don't need to apologize. No one, I'm trying to thank you. You did a lot for me during these last 2 weeks. You went out of your way for my sake, time and time again, and Aiko presses a hand against her chest. I appreciate it from the very bottom of my heart. If anybody has a right to call themselves my biggest fan, it's you. Nobody else qualifies. They don't even come close. This is very parasocial. And Aiko smiles at me. Her smile is so bright and warm it could probably melt the polar ice caps. In fact, I had an idea. Well, what? I was thinking, because you're done so many nice things for me, I want to do something for you too. Oh no, you don't have to. I couldn't possibly. Throw out that body pillow. I'm moving in. Hana, Yuichiro rests one hand on my shoulder. If Aiko wants to repay you, I think you should let her. She can be very stubborn when she wants, and she won't let this drop. All of a sudden, she's stubborn. I only heard about her being stubborn as of this stream. But I don't deserve any reimbursement. I just did what anybody would. Like steal a highly confidential, not to mention a highly expensive piece of lyric property? Well, if you hadn't managed to save Aiko, Hana, you would be in quite a lot of trouble. Is she grumpy? No, she's happy. You could have gone to prison, Hana. Is he happy? Oh. Ah, he's scowling. You really put your neck on the line. I'm impressed. I never would have expected it from such a young girl. I guess I got you all wrong when I saw you back at Idol Fest. You're not just any Aiko fan. You really are her #1 fan. I thought that he was like, you're different from the others. You risked a lot for Aiko's sake. Whoops. You risked a lot for Aiko's sake. Why don't you let her do something for you? But I'm just Hana, a plain dull. Oh my god, stop saying that. I don't think you're plain. But you're an idol. I might be an idol, but I'm still an ordinary girl. I'm not that different from you, you know. Look, I blink. Aiko reaches out. She takes hold of my hands in hers, her fingers entwining about mine. You put yourself down a lot, but I think you were really cool, Hana. You do? That's right, you saved me. I wouldn't be alive if it weren't for you. I wouldn't be able to smile or dance or sing, and so I want to dedicate my next song to you. I need to talk about it with Mr. Ozu, my composer, but if you wouldn't mind too terribly, Aiko squeezes my fingers with her own. I'd like to call my next song Acidic Flower. I think it would be about a young girl with self-esteem issues who nevertheless tries her very hardest. I think this is the beginning of a parasocial friendship. Who nevertheless tries her very hardest, and in the end she's finally able to succeed. She learns how to smile. I think it would make a lot of people happy, don't you? I feel my face burning bright red. This is more than I could ever hope for. It's more than I ever dreamed of. Right now, all of my dreams are coming true. Aiko's right. This song does have the ability to make people happy. It's already making me happy. I don't think I've ever felt this happy in my whole life. End? Please let this be an ending. Yeah? End credits? Oh, thank God, yes. Mystery Corgi is the original creator. Okay. Well done everyone, we survived. Felt like much more than an eternity, like 2 or more eternities. Yeah, that sure was a game, and I'm proud that we all got through it together. I think we need a reward. So the next community challenge, I don't know. Let's have a think about it on the Discord for patrons and Twitch subscribers, and like the Twitch channel. If you want to like brainstorm. Please don't make it another visual novel. It's over. It's done. Sneaky plug. You know I gotta do it. Oh, the goose is dancing. It's very cute. Oh, good. They're going away. So, which ending was that? Oh, epilogue. Uncle Yuichiro, it feels like it's been such a long time. That's because it has been a long time, I guess. More than half a year since we started playing this game. Yuichiro smiles, not that they can see it. Oh my god. He considers patting the younger girl on the head, but he decides against it. Rei's 15 now, and that would be far too infantilizing. Uncle Yuichiro, Rei glances at the tabletop, her cheeks flushed light pink. I missed you. And I missed you too, Rei. Really? I missed all of you, Itsuki and Kazuki, but especially you. Oh, you charmer. Did you miss me too, Itsuki? Of course, mealtimes weren't the same without you. You'd become quite the fixture around our home. Ah ha ha, I'm sorry for imposing. Like, what the hell are you doing here? Don't be silly, you're always welcome here. The smell of braised salmon and sesame sauce fills the kitchen. It's a comforting array of smells and it makes Yuichiro feel at ease. There is more, run! Oh god. The Himura's kitchen is far nicer than his. Yuichiro's apartment is tiny, and his kitchen is even tinier. There's no space between the table, the fridge, and the counters. The Himura's home is large and inviting, and the Himuras always seem like such a happy family. Kazuki can be somewhat cold, but Utsuki's warm and welcome demeanor is more than enough to make up for it. And of course there's Rei. So how have you been lately, Yuichiro? Kazuki said you'd been fired? Itsuki, please, let's not talk about business at the dinner table. This is the first time Yuichiro has been here in quite some time. Ah, I'm sorry, I wouldn't want to give you indigestion. Wait, what? Is this still a flashback? No, it's fine, I don't mind talking about it. Are you sure? What's in the past is in the past. But don't you resent me? Oh, why would Uncle Yuichiro resent you, Dad? Okay, so this is an epilogue. Well, let's see, he was fired, it's true, but what occurred was not entirely his fault. I knew he was innocent, but I still let Yuichiro take the fall. I could have come forward to clear his name, but instead I said nothing and watched as my friend's career fell apart around him. Hey, Yuichiro rests one hand against his friend's shoulder. We've already had that punch up, so I'm okay now. I've already forgiven you for that. But how? I have a bigger heart than you might imagine, and well, after all this time, I don't really want my old job back. I managed to make a new life for myself. I'm happy like this. You are? That's right. I won't hold a grudge, I promise. Not so long as you keep inviting me over for dinner. I think every community challenge should involve desktop goose, probably. Well, they do say the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. And they'd be right. I'm rather simple, actually. I don't think you're simple, Uncle Yuichiro. You always seemed smart to me. Ah ha ha, well thank you, I appreciate it. Rei giggles. You're welcome. Yuichiro now looks at Kazuki. His ex-colleague seems a little anxious, but Yuichiro is determined to change that. What? During the last 6 months, the relationship has fallen apart, but Yuichiro was able to fix Aiko. He's sure he can fix this too. Don't worry, Kazuki, I don't want to argue my case. Getting my job back would make things complicated for you, and I don't want to cause you any stress. But you won't be able to see Aiko again. Maybe I can't see her in person, but... Yuichiro takes his phone out of his pocket. He taps on the icon to open Paku Paku and shows Kazuki the screen. I can still talk to her, now that she remembers who I am, and I have access to her contact information. The world is a wonderful place. I hope you don't get in trouble. Third parties shouldn't be in contact with Aiko. If anybody finds out, you'll cover for me, won't you? Isn't that what friends are for? As shameless as that is, I suppose I owe you a favor or two. Great. Wait, what? June 4th. Oh, I see, sorry. And how about you, Rei? Would you like Aiko's contact details? I know Paku Paku supports voice calls, so perhaps you could speak to her from time to time. Aiko? Rei's mouth falls open in a neat little O. Ooh. Her empty eyes stare. Empty eyes, because she's blind, right? Is Aiko alright? Did you manage to fix her? Sure did. She's better than she's ever been before. Practically brand new, in fact. I'm so glad. I was really worried. I don't know what I'd do if anything happened to her. Yuichiro leans towards Kazuki, nudging the older man in the ribs. His voice drops to a whisper when he says, "See, I knew this was the right thing to do." "Oh, be quiet. I know my daughter better than you think. And, does Aiko really want to speak to me? She's so popular, I don't know she'll find the time. I'm just another one of her fans." "You can complete the game, but you can never leave." "Don't sell yourself short. You're a popular idol too, eh?" "Not as popular as Aiko. Nobody's as popular as Aiko." "You don't resent her for it?" "Of course not." Rei shakes her head emphatically, her hair flutters. "I love Aiko. She's the reason I became an idol in the first place. I could never resent her. And besides, she already said this a third of the way through the game. And besides, Aiko gives me the drive to keep going. If I want to surpass her, I'll have to try really, really hard. If I didn't have Aiko, my career would stagnate. Aiko might be my rival, but I'm also her #1 fan. I can't bother her with my petty worries. It wouldn't be right. I already decided I'm not going to talk to her until we're equals." "That's very sweet of you, Rei, but those sentiments might do more harm than good." "What do you mean? Aiko, despite being your reason for pursuing self-improvement, is just an ordinary girl like you." "Ordinary? That's right, she's an ordinary girl who happens to be an idol." With a slot at the back of her neck for a USB cable. "Be quiet, Kazuki." Yuichiro gives Kazuki another dig in the ribs. "What I'm trying to say is, sometimes even idols get lonely. But she has so many fans." "She has fans, yes, but she doesn't have too many friends. People tend to keep their distance. She's treated like a doll by most of the employees at Lyric. Very few people try to get to know her on a personal level. And also, you just said that she can't give out her contact details. Who talks to dolls, after all?" "Lonely?" Rei bows her head. She looks thoughtful. "I thought I had nothing in common with Aiko, but I think I can understand that." "Oh, Rei. I hope you haven't been feeling too isolated. Kazuki and I have been trying our best, but..." "It's alright, Mom. I appreciate everything you and Dad have done for me. You let me become an idol. It's more than I ever hoped for. Oh my god. I would like to talk to girls my age from time to time. Like Aiko, who's 2 years old. I thought you might, and that's why I offered. You and Aiko are more similar than you might think." "Why don't you try talking to her? It would make Aiko happy too." "But what about you, Dad? What about me?" "You don't really like Aiko, do you? You don't really like Aiko, do you?" Kazuki frowns. He's not sure what to say. He thought he kept his dislike for Aiko relatively under wraps, but it seems Ren knows what he was thinking better than he himself does. Has he always been that transparent? "It is true that I'm not Aiko's biggest fan, but..." Kazuki pauses. He inhales. "I just got that the company's name is literally Lyric." Yeah. "I know you love her, Rei, and if talking to Aiko would make you happy, it would make me happy too." "Oh, Daddy!" Rei's eyes light up. "I'd love that! I'd love it more than anything!" "Yay!" She rests her head against her father's shoulder. Kazuki looks down at her, blinking. He's her father, but Kazuki's never seen her smile like that before. Well, I can't see her smile because this is covering it. Is this all thanks to Aiko? Perhaps it's time for him to reevaluate his opinion on that robot. But even if she is a robot, like Yuichiro said, she isn't all that dissimilar from... Oh my god, they've said it so many times! They're both ordinary girls who just so happen to be idols. Maybe that's why when Rei says, "I would love to be Aiko's friend," Kazuki thinks he can accept it. He has to. This is Rei's life. He can't interfere anymore. If Rei is to grow stronger, he has to start letting her make her own decisions. That's just part of being a father. Okay, there's the smile. Oh, no. Oh my god. Oh, click. 3 days later. Do we have to get the ending of everyone? Because I don't have the time. Hana, I really am glad to see you again. Yuko sits on the edge of her dusky pink bed. She smiles at me brightly, her hands held together at her front. "I was worried I'd offended you the other day when I spoke about Aiko." "No, you didn't." "Well, I was a little upset, I guess, but I knew it. That's why you ran off, isn't it? It's because I hurt your feelings. I was acting so self-righteous. I must have seemed like such a jerk." Oh my god. Well, those are credits for part 1. I should have stopped to think before I spouted all that crap. It's not like I was lying or anything. I don't lie about my feelings, but it was still a pretty lousy thing to do. You really don't need to apologize. It was an honest mistake and I'm fine. That's what you say, but it was obvious you're an Aiko fan. That's why you went to see her perform at the Kokusai Center, right? If I'd given it a little more thought, I would have realized, but I didn't. I never do. Yuko's shoulders slump. I always say things without thinking, and then I hurt people. By that point, it's too late. I'm so stupid. Oh my god, stop. Characters who put themselves down. You're not stupid. I am, like, super stupid. My head's as thick as a brick. Look. To demonstrate her point, Yuko balls up her right fist and taps her head with it. It makes a dull, hollow noise, as though she's rapping her knuckles against a coconut. I offer Yuko a smile. I don't think I've ever seen her look so flustered before. It's good to get closure for all these characters I'm heavily invested in. She comported herself easily at the convention, even when she was surrounded by fans. She didn't lose her cool once. But she looks distinctly troubled now. It's kind of endearing. Maybe Mr. Kosugi was right. He always said I was an idiot. What? Mr. Kosugi says that about everyone. He hates kids. Oh, totally. I don't know why he decided to become a teacher. Maybe he wanted to make our lives miserable. I bet. He's exactly the sort of person who would do something cruel and petty like that. Well, I guess he has to get his kicks where he can. He's middle-aged and I bet he doesn't have a girlfriend or a boyfriend or any friends at all. You know, in class the other day, he shouted at Hirose Miyuki. Miyuki? I think we were on the track team together. Yeah, he made her cry. Wow, what a jerk. I know, right? Ugh. These people sure do like to explain how the author thinks of them as characters. Yeah, I know, right? He must have, like, such a sad life. It's pathetic. He always said I would never amount to anything. And now I'm an idol, and he's still a math teacher. Well, a trainee idol at least. You need to become super popular, Yuko. Then when Mr. Kosugi sees you on TV or hears your new songs playing on the radio, he'll realize how wrong he was about you. I'm way ahead of you, Hana. Spite is one of my biggest motivators. Jeez, you sound like a pleasant person. And Yuko starts to giggle, pressing one hand against her mouth. Thanks, Hana. You're really sweet. It's no problem. I was so worried when you ran off back then that you were never going to talk to me again. I thought, oh no, I've really done it this time, and it made me feel bad too, because I didn't want to hurt your feelings. We've gone over this. I'm not a big fan of oh my god, but I do like you, Hana. I've always thought you were a sweet girl. I dip my head and I look at my lap. If my hair was long enough, maybe I'd play with it, just to give my fingers something to do. But my hair's short and choppy! So there wouldn't be any point. I don't know how to style my hair anyway. Oh my god. I don't know the first thing about fashion. We're rehashing the introduction. Or even the second, third, fourth, or fifth things. Oh, Hana. What? I just thought of something. You must be so happy to hear the great news. What news? About Aiko. She's working again. Isn't that great? Yeah, it really is great. I'm happy for her. And I'm happy for you too, huh? I look at Yuko curiously. Wasn't the whole thing that, like, if the fact that she malfunctioned in the first place meant that her career went down the toilet? So why is she suddenly, you know, performing again? Because there was that whole thing about there was one person who malfunctioned one time and then that made the company shut down. So I don't understand why this is different. Oh, look at that. That's cute. I look at Yuko curiously. Speculating about playing with your long hair you don't have. But you don't like Aiko, do you? I thought you said you'd be happier if she didn't get fixed. That's what I thought, and I still don't like her, but maybe it's a good thing Aiko's around. What do you mean? It gives me something to shoot for, like a goal, I guess. You mean you want to be as popular as Aiko? Isn't that the dream? Basically what they said. I do want to be popular, yes, but I don't think I'll ever be on Aiko's level. At first I thought it was because Aiko's a robot. She's been programmed to be perfect after all. She's the ideal woman constructed like a piece of flat-pack furniture, but I gave it some thought and I decided maybe Aiko isn't that dissimilar to me after all. She's just an ordinary girl! Maybe she's a robot, but she still messes up her lines when she's on stage, and sometimes she's a little out of time when she's dancing. She used to be worse when she first debuted, but she got better over time. She got better because she practiced. Yuko ponders. She stares at her toes, encased in white socks, and lets them curl in on themselves. Ooh. Her socks are... Oh! This sentence physically hurt. I don't give a shit about your socks. Her socks are made of a thin fabric that's slightly translucent. I can see the faint sheen of her pink nail polish through the material. I think I was using Aiko as an excuse. I blamed her for my failures and didn't try to improve myself. I just complained for the sake of it. Being an idol is pretty hard work. The hours are long, the pay isn't great, and I still don't have many fans. It'll be a long, long time before I get to where Aiko is, and I guess I started feeling disillusioned. I blamed Aiko for my problems, but that was a childish way of looking at it. It's not Aiko's fault I'm not as popular as her yet. This is a meritocracy. Aiko's determination taught me something. She made me realize I should try a little harder and stop blaming my failures on other people. Yeah, I don't get describing something in detail in a visual novel either. I think the script was written first, but then they didn't edit it after they put it with this, you know what I mean? But you still don't like her? Nope, not at all. Her image is way too cute and innocent for me. It's not interesting at all. But despite that, I can understand why you like her, Hana. I understand why she captured your heart. I just hope I can do the same in the future. Would you prefer they zoom in on her feet? Yeah, that's touche. You can do it, Yuko. I know you can. Thanks. The way of an idol is hard, but I won't give up. I'm going to keep on going no matter what. And as long as I have people like you and Hideki by my side supporting me, I think I can do it. Hana. Yuko looks at me from beneath her eyelashes. Sorry, I don't know how you do that. And like, I have pretty damn formidable eyelashes, so like, you'd think that if anyone would be able to look at someone from beneath their eyelashes, it would be me. No, the overall effect is endearing, apparently. I know you're Aiko's #1 fan, but I'll work hard to improve myself, and maybe in time, you think you'd be my fan too? You don't even need to ask. Face down looking up. Ugh. No, and I give Yuko the brightest, warmest smile I can muster. I'm already your fan. Oh, thank God. Oh, no. And #4, Yuko's fan. What? Oh, okay. Well, why don't we just quickly look here and see what the other options were. Walk through. Oi, no! The dog! Oh, stop it! You cheeky bastard! There's currently no walkthrough. Okay. I'm pretty sure I saw something. Okay. So we've got ending 1, 2, 3, and 4. To get ending 5, you need to say that Yasu is cute. But like, tell me what the ending does! In study session, Makoto is cute. No more grade A's. Sadako was cute. Okay, so no more grade A's. It's like the other 4, I guess, are based on who you talk to. Wataru was cute. You're my best friend. Together Forever, a song for you. These 2 achievements will show up depending on how you treat Aiko. If you treat her really well and admire her a lot, you'll get the Together Forever scene and achievement. Okay, so parasocial. If you treat her in a distant way and basically don't care much about her, you'll get the A Song for You scene. Oh, I see. Okay. So we got the A Song for You one. Together Forever is where we become like parasocial best friends. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna play any of the others. I prefer that she gets a song dedicated to her and that's it. Because, you know, you don't want to cross those boundaries of parasocial relationships. They're no good. I'm very fortunate I don't really get so much of that. But I have heard stories. And it's not fun. Oh! Extras. Early designs. Yay! Naked people! Next page. Early Hana designs. Early Hotaru and Yasu designs. Okay, so very soon we will have completed everything that we need to do in this game. Okay, that's it. Thank Goose! Indeed! We are done! We are done. We are done. I'm so happy. Thanks everyone for bearing, well, putting up with this. As I have. We'll think of a new community challenge that will hopefully not take as many streams to get through. I thought this was like a short game. But yes, we are very much done. Let's find someone to raid. Okay, we have Indigitech playing Phasmophobia. Yes. Let's do that. Indigitech. Raid Indigitech. Alrighty, you only caught 2 streams and you feel relieved. Yeah, you should. See you later, everyone. Get your honks in chat ready. I'll see you next time. Ciao, ciao!